Fortnite World Cup will bring so many new eyes onto Fortnite competitive and see just how insane and high skill these lobbies are. I've been involved in esports for so many years, Monster, and getting as much competitive support from the developers is so key, and this is another step to that. Alongside the incredible prize pools and the events coming up, Fortnite's in a good spot here moving forward. This is the
World Cup.
Let's get rid of that semi-auto sniper rifle, change up a couple little things there, and I think we'll be good. Epic, you got my number.
You guys need help. Holla at Courage, man. He knows what's up.
Let's give me some chicken parm. You don't even have to pay me.
Pay the man in chicken parm. It can happen here. As Blacksteel pops the rift, takes up a player with him. Will he land a shot in the air? Looks like he managed to connect. Something just happened there. Yep. Notice Blacksteel came down by himself. Nifty little trick right there. If you can be fast with the fingertips, you can see, make some big plays here. Blocks his in the game right now. 3 elimination, no longer has a baller. These final moments here. Down comes the Shadow Bomb, says, you know what? I don't want to be all the way up. Someone's healing right nearby. What's he going to do? 7 players remain. Can he break this top 5 threshold, get some more placement? That is what he wants to do right now.
So close.
So close. You have to think, if he's at 30-plus points right now, he is near the top 10. He's in the running for Fortnite World Cup. There it is, placement points being rewarded as Julian catches A's.
Between the final eliminations of the Victory Royale, Flamesgram waterfalling all the way down from the insane high ground. Yeah, no choice here.
Black
has made it down. Blacksu
is going to punch their ticket to New York City as we have a 3-way battle. Julian goes up, says he doesn't want to battle Blocks. Well, that might be a big mistake because Blocks is going to find him with the peak shot. And no, Julian actually takes himself out to the storm, so no one's rewarded. But Graham Flame has the campfire. It's going to out-tick Blocks.
Campfire is better than none. Flame Victory Royale, 39 points, definitely higher up there on the standings. But I know Zeke and Sundown are back over at our analyst station, want to show us some updates from Europe.
Thank you so much, Courage. Great cast on day, as always. We are back in studio. I've got Sundown with me. Let's go walk on over, see how things are going. Hope you're having an incredible Sunday. Finals day is beginning. Sundown, what incredible clips have you pulled for us today?
Thank you so much, Zeke. Yes, so what we're going to look at now are titans of the European region who have yet to qualify for the solos portion of the competition. So we know Mitro and Mongo have qualified in the duos, but here is Mongo trying to make his case for a solo spot as well. Nice little pickup on the backside to get Paquito and then to get all of the mats as well. So now he's on the low ground, backside of the storm with a decent power position as everyone's rotating towards him. Gets the combat shot there, and you can see his aggression. He's trying to take the walls and continue going forward. Nice little hangout on the tree here since he has no builds, using it to catch himself. Finds Supremacy's Magi, gets all the builds from that, and now uses it to box himself up and then go to work. The one bandage being enough, the other player desperately trying to take the wall, but the 5 HP being the difference, takes the Victory Royale going there. Another Titan. We saw him all through the Winter Royale, and we've seen him become so close in the other solos competitions. Will today be his day? Skite is making a case for it here. Running. Right now, he's been playing a lot of low ground towards either the right or left side, forcing players to rotate into him and then utilizing his combat shotguns and higher shields to take favorable trades. He's never straight clearing people out without taking damage in and of himself, but he's okay to go forward and be aggressive, catching I'm the Beast there with a sick edit. through the floor and then dropping it out. Now, riding along the side, you can see this is a top 4 situation. Incredibly tense, incredibly clutch there. Getting Ryu with the fast edit and then turning around and finding Zol right away. So what does he do from the low ground? Knows the player's up on the tree. Courage called it out great. You can't do this to Skype. Even if it is the half second, he's going to hit the shot. That was a great victory route. Let's hop right on board into his next match because he's not slowing down. Right there from the cone, a singular peak. Sometimes you make your own luck. If you don't take the shot, you don't get the elim, and now Skype fragging his way. One thing to notice, not going down to the trap there, put him into the top 25, got the placement points, and then picking up this one right here, pushes him into the top 15 as well. When we talk about critical and clutch eliminations, those are them, the ones that get you into the next point threshold. So Crew, from the top down now in a top 10 situation, one elim, then drops down, and immediately with the combat finds negative. Now, Valhalla Vikings Crew, he has qualified with his partner Chapex in the duos just like Mongraal, but he's desperately trying to find a solo spot. He's been the most consistent player out of Europe in solos to not get a spot, and there's been a reason for it. Look at how meticulous he plays this low ground, finding the player, picking up the victory royale right there. Brilliantly done. Let's take a look at the standings and see where they are. Crew up there in the second spot, but Andretta is not slowing down, picks up another victory royale, 4 games played, 52 points. And again, you might not think a 7-point lead, but when the rest of the table is within 5 points of each other, that's nutty. If he can keep it up, he'll be going to New York City. Let's not forget, Mongraal and Skype right up there as well in qualifying range right now.
Yeah, don't forget, guys, top 8 is going through. Now, because Kalusha has already qualified, this spot would go down 1. So right now, Jamside would be going through if everything was said and done. There's still plenty of games to get into. So for now, let's send it back in. Courage JD, Monster D-Face, get us back into these games. Gentlemen, take it away.
Boys, yes, back in more European action. Look at that leaderboards, and any surprises on there for you? I know, seeing Andretta up by 7. I mean, Sundown pointed it out. That's an incredible position to be in halfway through.
Yeah, I mean,
a little bit more than halfway through.
It's been a stompy show up until this point, so to see a new person at the top, it's definitely a shocker here in the final weeks, where you would think the pressure would be getting to more players, but the best of the best will prevail here. As now we're looking at Idem. He's trying to battle with himself. And just to give you guys a little heads up, there's 48 minutes to queue up to try and get your last 10 games, and you only have 10 attempts to muster and accrue as many points as possible within the window time frame to queue up. So 47 minutes remain. And again, if you're watching competitive Fortnite for the first time ever, this is what it is. We're jumping straight into the action to keep you guys up to date, skipping past, scrubbing past some of the landing portions. But these are full games, and we're hopping into the tail ends to give you guys the best of the best action in the final moments.
Hear me out. How dope would this be? This would be nuts. I know. This is why, Epic pays me chicken parm. Imagine this. You watch from the in-game client, and it's a challenge. And if you complete the challenge, you get a spray or V-Bucks or a dance.
Yes.
Viewer incentives to tune in to the Fortnite World Cup. I mean, that sounds like 200 IQ, huh, Monster?
I mean, if we can do that.
Oh, it can be done.
Can we split credit, or I was here?
Epic, if you wind up doing that, you owe me half the game's revenue from all time.
All right, as we hop back in with Snowy here. Captain Shenanigan Courage is in full effect here.
Gosh, hello.
Someone hops into the bots. Big old shot for Jonzo right there. It's gonna keep Snowy in the game. He did take some damage, but with that 50 siphon heal, it's gonna allow him to just kind of bounce back like he never left. So free elimination for him, kind of walks in. That's a desperate play to make when someone kind of throws it all out. And
it almost looks like they moved out from that campfire and just went all in with the heavy sniper. And that's one where you try to make it work. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Here's Mongraal, 38 points. Still doing well from when we last checked in.
Can he find a shot here? He's so close to making this placement point. He's at 28 points here. So close, so close. He just needs to kind of hold out for just a little bit longer. It's a big rotation here. Having a Shadow Bomb should keep him in the running. There are so many other players with Shadow Bombs colliding and collapsing in the same area right now. Does he own all the walls? He does a quick check, a little spin around right there. Lands some more shots. He's on the hunt. Can he find it? That player has no shield. Takes a wild pop shot there. Doesn't quite connect, but he's still in the running right now, and he does make the placement finally here as Adham goes down.
Top 24. Mongrel trying to hold these walls. Getting sprayed out for a moment. You can tell the thought process of Mongrel, right? It's, I look at the zone and shoot at anyone that is with their back right to it, right? And that's all Mongrel keeps doing. Now realizes how low he is on mats, decides it's time to stop full boxing and start just pyramiding when I can.
My.
That's the elimination, though, that Mongrel needed to at least earn some more materials to make this next rotation even possible. No shadow bombs, no baller, no launch pad. Just his ability to out-aim his opponents and build with whatever materials he has left. Mongrel, 0 builds. The worst case scenario for Fortnite in the late game. The one silver lining here, Monster does still have a ton of HP, but here's the issue. Still not in the top 15, wants his extra placement points. Zone right at his back. I can tell you right now, if this was Mongrel, still on another position in this lobby, Mongrel would be shooting at where he is himself because of this positioning. Down to 5 HP, no shot, no builds left. Where Mongrel's skill comes in is in his ability to outbuild and out-edit his opponents. And unfortunately, with no builds, that's not possible.
Yeah, in those final moments, it's hard to tell if he did just scrape out the placement point, though. 3 players went down in quick succession. We'll find out when we check in with them later here. But Razi, who had the high ground and some impulses, just trying to chuck him out here. Maybe see if he can flush somebody out really quickly. Imagine if he lands one. It would be crazy. A little real for himself. He has the flint knock to get off of the high ground. If you guys are new to the Fortnite scene, you can negate fall damage with the flint knock. It's actually one of the most versatile tools in the game, or weapons. So here comes the AR, gets a nice little headshot right there, and Mitch goes down. And now it's off to build again as he's trying to save his high positioning here. He does have that flint, 1 flint to the body when you're in the high ground, and you're getting chucked off those builds.
Bye-bye.
Probably guaranteed to get eliminated at that point.
So Razy just more than happy and going back over all these old builds, so not even having to reinforce this. It's already fully built, it looks like brick and metal. Castery, Nork, Snowy, Finn, all on low ground. Razy's having a time of their life up top. Top 5, so now the only placement points remaining come from getting a victory royale. As now Nork will build on out, staying ahead of the zone, 30 builds remaining. Good job holding these back edits. Here's this rocket launcher getting reloaded, and that is just a terrifying sound this late in the game. Big damage coming through. Shields have been shattered on this player up close. He's gonna have to push into this. And no, he's stuck.
A little crack.
He's stuck. He's stuck. Oh no, he is stuck in Nork. Oh gosh. What?
It rotates back around into him, so Nork's now ahead of the zone. This is going to give him another opportunity to stay in it. Can he win the exchange? Breaks the trap in time. Jumps out, and Castery goes from 200 to 0 HP. Nork is still in the game right now. It's a 1v1 situation with the low ground hold. Razi, it's got to be low on materials at this point. Yes, he is. Just one. This is a close one here. Nork goes out with the side peek, catches him off guard. But it's not going to be enough. As
The last shot was the flint knock. That's why Razy's flying through the air. It was a combat flint knock duo shot that wound up ending the game right there. Such a dirty combo that you can wind up using. Wondering if more and more players will begin to bring it on out. One brief note that I just wound up finding out through Twitter. Through the in-game client, you can actually queue for games and in queue watch the stream.
Let's go.
That's real
awesome.
Dope. That's real dope. So. Really looking forward to continuing to see how that gets built out. And again, if I'm going to keep plugging it, it's because I know how important it is for the Fortnite competitive scene to be seen by as many people as possible. There are a lot of people out there that are probably watching for the first time today, so I know the brilliant minds in production, except for Punch, will be playing the new key terms for a new viewer video a lot more today than normal. So if you see someone that's asking questions in any of the chats, or you know someone that might be watching for the first time, help them get into competitive Fortnite. Help them with the viewer experience and welcome them to this beautiful, beautiful thing.
Maybe if you're just wondering what's going on, what's playing right here, hey, it's us. This is live, real time.
Yeah.
You guys can totally tune in and learn some Fortnite tips and tricks.
There's $2 million on the line in these matches today. And this is the last chance for these players to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Live from New York City in July. If you're in the LA area, remember the summer block party takes place this week. Get your tickets. By this week, I mean literally 7 days from now, next weekend.
Nice little push right there. Driz is going to find Hellwing. And notice how he plays a single wall. He plays the right camera angle naturally, holds it down, squeaks past that trap. If you hold the wall, you can just kind of get right past, and he doesn't lose his composure. He just pushes all the way through. Now back with Skite. Skite.
He's always got the camera on him, huh?
He's been in it today, man. Today could be it.
Observers are like,
Top eight make it through.
Hey,
oh boy.
If we're gonna keep showing him he's gonna hit shots like that, I'm happy with it. I'm more than happy to keep bringing that up. Heavy sniper, arguably my favorite weapon in the game. In a position like this is like the bread and butter. No real worries, no one challenging. Just the ability to aim on down on the zones moving towards him. Great spot to be in.
Yeah, all he's looking for is for someone to over peek, make a window, and find opportunity here. But Kubik still in the game, has a baller. About half HP, just looking for an opportunity. Can he find one? He's going to be way ahead of the zone here. And he is somehow just above the damage threshold. You will take damage in the final moments if you have not dealt enough in return. So just hiding around the ball is not going to cut it. You have to get shots, get tags on opponents like that right there. That's 259s, and he catches Midnight with a third one. A body, can he get another? That's a second and a third.
Jeez.
All off of the baller to get ahead of the zone first. Push players who have limited mobility. They can't move across fast enough, and they fall victim. And off he goes. He doesn't even care. He doesn't even match. He doesn't need anything. He's just out.
Absolutely helped to move above that damage threshold needed for the Storm Surge. 32 players now, 31, 30 left in this game. Top 25 will earn those placement points. On the high ground, you've got, what is that, Losic, a baller flying in, and oh, the baller just broke, so there's actually a fight going on for height right now. Majestic still playing low underneath all these builds. You see Hassan down there as well. Solarinikov there too. And the beautiful, beautiful view of everyone moving with this zone. As they all know, the Storm, the #1 enemy this late in the game.
It's so crazy. I've had the pleasure of reviewing players like Tachinkin and Stompy. During these zones, they will battle for the high if they have even a slight chance at taking it. So even with 20 players remaining Storm Zone 7, you want to be up here. Let's see what Tachinkin decides to do as he's running out of materials. Can he find a player? If not, he's going to be forced low, but something tells me he's going to catch someone here. Can he? And there it is. Someone's in his sights right now. He's going to get ahead of this player. He's going to work his way around, find a better angle here to take the battle. And now he's off to hunt. Hopping back up. Oh, it's a big old
it stopped.
mountain.
It stopped. Wait, I think it's still kind of going over it, isn't it?
It's going right over it.
Oh, goodness. Well, people have got to build on up. Tachinkin gets hit hard in the back. We'll have to top and pop minis. Pressure still coming on in. Good job, though, recognizing that. Here's the view, and look at these players scattered all around the people down low. It's looking quite grim. Right over the mountain. He's doing everything he can with the flint knock. Cobb goes down. Floaty goes down. Tachinkin's made it at least over this side.
It's because he did move first, but can he get this shot right here? He is going to hit him for a lot. 105 on the flick to Delta, and Delta ICU goes right down. Chinkin is now battling the Storm. Can he get out in time? He knows there's a player above him. And he is. This is the last build right here. Could not get in the cone fast enough. Unfortunately for him, that's going to be the end of his run there. But we're still in the game here. Driz is now battling someone who's trying to pad up to high ground. It's LOL Boom, who's already qualified for solos just a couple weeks ago. Driz catches someone in the ball. He's going to fall right out of it. And now it's Boom who has a player right above him. What's Driz going to do? Still looking for the peak shots here. Breaks another baller. Says no free rotations today. He's putting this pressure down right here. He's got plenty of materials to hold it out. He is just hunting right now, and no takes fall damage.
Didn't get to pop the redeploy in time. Good job. Hopping on the Boom with that combat shotgun. 4 players left, 35 points in total. Drizzy needs a solid ending right here to stay on track with these top performers. Drops it on one. Brilliant. Done. Catches himself with the shot. Just that little bit of extra chip damage. Doesn't break the shields, but either way knows the player down low is weakened. Drops into another box. This time it's on white HP. And this is the worst thing you could be on. Stuck in a box, player pushing in. Alpha down to what? 15 health? This should be done.
If that, and these are the final moments, what are you going to do here? You just kind of be happy you got your placement and you're back to the lobby now. Don't waste any time there.
GG Driz there for Drizzy. A ton of materials left. European start to the day. High level lobbies, 50+ players remaining in these 5th zones, Storm Surge all over the place. Zeke and Sundown.
Thank you guys so much, man. These games are absolutely unbelievable. Guys, we cannot stress this enough. This is the final week of solo competition. This is it. Their final chance to punch their tickets to the Fortnite World Cup Finals in New York City. Now, of course, we're hanging out with Sundown. We've got some incredible clips to show you guys. We'll take a look at the standings, and then we'll do one more special thing before we go to a break. So, Sundown, let's send it your way.
Yeah, so we're going to take a look at some of the highlight reel plays we saw in that last block. And just real quick first, Nork on the low ground here, able to put some pressure in with the shots and then follow up right away, going to work with that rare combat shotgun and then dropping around the Storm. Now, one thing, pushing through the trap, note his HP, he was down to 10, but the Siphon put him back over the top. However, Razzie putting his high ground and that Flintlock to work. If you saw the piece you talk about in the right hands, it can be absolutely devastating. And you see here, he opts to go for the higher one-shot potential. Now, the important thing to note is the Flintlock has a better one-shot. So if you're only going to fire one there, that's going to be the choice. Now, Skite here, take advantage. You can't get caught being a gargoyle, particularly when only your head is poked out there. Good night, Raven. Nothing going on there, but Cubex here with a nice little gatekeeping on the side, putting the great AR to work. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. Real quick 3-point spread from him there. Well done. And then he was just able to box himself up and get safe. Now, let's take a look again at the standings, and still in Dredo with a 7-point lead, and Crew is actually starting to kind of separate himself from the pack as well. 8 points clear of the 3rd place, which is Mongrel, by the way, who's gotten himself up there. And again, Stompy never learned how to share. But one thing I want you to look at here, 3rd to 10th, Zeke. What is 49 minus 46?
3,000, just kidding, it's 3. That's a pretty small spread, man, all things considered. Don't forget, this is the top 3,000 players in the region. To have a spread this tight, especially in finals, the last chance, this is crazy.
Yeah, and like Jamside's done. That's all 10 of his matches.
That's all 10.
Can't queue up again. He can hope and pray that he holds on to that 8th spot, but I promise you, 46 points will not be enough. You're going to need to get in the top 8 because, again, this is your last shot to get to that New York City final.
Man, very tough spread here. We have to see, again, we're getting down to the wire here, guys. It's coming down to these final few moments. Now that we take a look at the replays, the standings, we want to take a moment to take a look at the social wall, because as you guys know, I love interacting with you guys on social media. We got some incredible things like this crazy Peely artwork from Zavira. Okay, Zavira, I hope I said your name right. If I did not, I am so sorry. I can't wait to see Benji and Savage in the World Cup. It's going to be amazing. Watching the Fortnite World Cup, and it's going to be great. World Cup, thanks for the minigame while we waited.
Liquid Tay wants a rematch, Zeke. That might be something you can win.
Zegemus Prime, are we on for Rock, Paper, Scissors rematch today? You know we are. In fact, Fortnite fam, because we're going to go to break, let's do one right now. All right, now it's going to be Rock, Paper, Scissors, shoot. All right? Rock, Paper, Scissors, shoot. Very simple. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Tag me in it. Did I win? Did you win? Now, don't forget, throughout the day, I'll be on BTS. So you may want to watch because we're going to be playing more of this game. And I'm going to win. I'm probably going to lose. I'm going to try. But with that, guys, we're going to a 5-minute break. Don't go too far because when we get back, more Fortnite action after that. What's going on, Fortnite fam? We're here for week number 8. And you know it's time to go meet up with the casters, so let's...
So much for your intro, Zeke.
Spooky, no! It's time for a weekend!
I'm Golden Boy, one of your hosts, and we're going to jump right in.
I am so excited to be casting these games today. We are back.
All right, so we're getting ready. It's been a really great day so far. So a lot to get through. We want to talk to...
Zeke!
What?
I have to show you something.
Okay, all right.
I got a slipstream.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Squints!
Yeah?
So you're the in-game producer.
Yep.
But is there more we need to know about in-game observing?
I believe so, and you should go talk to Andy about that, Zeke.
Hey, what's up guys? My name's Andy. I'm the in-game director for the Fortnite World Cup qualifiers. So whenever we get into game, I take over from Joe, our broadcast director, and start cutting between all of our observers. I work with a team of 2 observers as well as a game producer, Squints, and the observer director in order to try and cut the best show possible. So basically all of our observers are getting the best content during these games, and I'm sort of the one who's deciding which one goes live on air. None of this is possible by myself, so I got a lot of help from my game producer as well as my observer director.
Hey guys, guys, I'm Jeff Rose. I am the observer director, so I work with every observer individually, make sure they get the greatest shots, the greatest stories, so that when we go to Andy and he goes and cuts the show, he makes sure that you guys are seeing the best quality content that you can.
Check out the next block of NA West. Let's see what we have in store.
Aiden had some great plays. If he is able to carry the momentum over into this one.
Are you guys curious to see how audio works for the broadcast? Let's go meet up with John.
Hi, I'm John. I'm the audio mixer, or A1, on Fortnite. Welcome, Fortnite fam, to the audio booth. This is the audio board. All the audio that you hear goes through my hands. This is all of our wireless microphones for all of our talent. And then right here are all of our in-ear monitors, or IFTs, so that I can talk to talent. Like, usually it's something like, hey, Zeke, turn on your mic. And then they turn on their mics. I think Zeke should have heard that right now. Did you hear that? Nice. Also, I have a window.
All done! Yay!
Day one's done!
What are you talking about? World Cup finals over, guys, okay? I won everything.
Guys, I just want to let you know, my favorite person in the world is in this room.
Wow.
Which one do you think it is?
It's not me.
I'm happy to tell you.
It's not me.
It's actually Kitty Plays. Boom! Right there. You know, it's not easy making this look good. Let's go meet up with Monique, the makeup artist, to see how she gets all this done.
No, I don't like that guy, Zeke. He's such a... Oh, hey! Hi, I'm Mo. I'm the makeup artist. I'm the one that makes these nerds look beautiful. Oh, Zeke. Sorry, let me just reel.
There's two people that don't get nearly enough love. They are the people who operate the cameras, and I'm going to introduce you to them right now.
That's Allison. That's Mahoney. That's Mo.
Hi.
Touched on right there is when he gets knocked out with that RPG, instantly written. Oh my goodness, that was
North, you know, setting up their cottage, setting up their homes.
Take 3, take 5, take 4, and 5 minute game!
Ready off 5, ready off 6, take off 6.
Keep on 1!
Ready off 3, take off 3. Ready off 10, take off 10. Take off 5, take off 6. Take off 6.
And cut. Keep up the good work.
Good job, man. Are we gonna do a Fortnite? Wait, come on. We'll get in there. Let's do a Pookie. Let's do a Pookie on 3. 1, 2, 3. Pookie.
We have a post-show pinata.
Right now, see. I'm that camera. Hit Zeke in the face.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the continued coverage of the Fortnite World Cup Open Online Qualifiers. We are in solos, week 9, the last chance to qualify for one of the biggest competitive gaming events ever, live from New York City, the World Cup Finals. Cannot wait for it to kick off. The action today has been fantastic. And guess what? I've got great news for you. We have one of the most talented, handsome, well-spoken, loved, positive people I've ever met in Sundown, and Dr. Lupo.
Thank you so much for that, Jack. I honestly think that's the most genuine and heartwarming thing that you would challenge me to find any drip of sarcasm in that. But I am Sundown, joined here by Dr. Lupo, and we're about to get you into the final moments of the European region for the Fortnite World Cup Online Open Qualifiers. I mean, it's been absurd so far.
The only time I think I could get Jack to say anything positive about me is if I covered my body in chicken parmesan, but we do have games ready to go. We're going to knock Europe out of the park. Hopefully we got some shenanigans from them. It's been good games already so far today. This is the last week of solo qualifiers, which means the pressure is high. The tension, it's insane. Because if you're not going to make it as a solo qualifier right now, you're not going to make it as a solo qualifier ever. This is it.
Yeah, this is it for the first Fortnite World Cup, and now you can see Mongraal, the player who everyone thought, oh yeah, he's going to qualify. Well, now we're here, week 9. Is he going to qualify? Currently sitting in the 3rd place, just behind Crew, and he pushes right on in and takes away everything from Hawkers. You can go queue back up, try and get your last matches in, as we have 25 minutes left in the region.
So Mongraal has been seen as one of the top performers in Europe, if not the entire world, since the World Cup began. Is there, if you had to pick 3 things from his play style, Sundown, I know you watch so much competitive Fortnite, what would you say the 3 most important things that he does as a player? What are they?
The 3 most important things he's done are, 1, when he looks to go aggressive, how he shoots first. Like, yes, we talk about how good he is at building, but that's because he puts himself in the position. When he goes to drop down and be aggressive, he's looking to hit his first shot and then trail it up right away. And because he's already aiming in those spots, he's more than likely to hit those headshots, hits the reactions. The second thing, when he decides to rotate, the timing at which he goes enables him to play more aggressive and to catch other people as they rotate. And then secondly, what he does after he gets an elim. He's always looking for another one. It's never pause, go do something else. Gotcha. It's immediately go find someone else, find the next target, whether I need to cover myself from them or whether I need to go aggressive.
Love to see it. Appreciate your insight on that. That's why we keep you around, plus the luscious locks of hair, obviously, like a real-life Viking.
I hope so. I definitely think in a past life was a Viking somewhere, but now Wolfie's trying to be a Viking here and push right on over into the 1x1. Gonna opt against it and instead just raid and pillage that elim away. Crinkle going down there as we now hit top 30. So top 30, Storm Circle 6. So incredibly tense zone and less than a minute till it comes to a close. Everyone's gonna have to rotate past Wolfie's right here as 2 more go down and we get closer to the first placement threshold.
3 more before you hit that top 25. Rift to go, 2 launch pads, even a Flintlock potentially as a mobility weapon here. Wolfie's sitting on honestly a pretty solid kit. We've seen the Flintlock as one of the most used, versatile weapons in Fortnite right now. I don't think there's been anything that's come close to it, to be quite honest with you. It serves so many purposes. We said before, I mean, on the cast, just to make sure that people understand, it really is it's a very important loadout piece for players that know that they're going to be playing inside boxes versus others that potentially have to fall down from above, especially if they don't have a redeploy. They've got a weapon that can stop them if they have 2 builds and catch themselves on the low ground before they hit the bottom and take all that fall damage. Applying pressure from underneath right now. Wolfie's trying to drop in his opponent. Quick replace the floor. Wolfie's looks like it was be over there to the top left. Mongraal rotating the top right of your screen for just a moment. 2 more players need to go down before we hit the threshold. I'm thinking at some point we're going to see a Rift to go here from Wolfie's to reposition. Trying to bait out shots just like that. Sly Clement on the rotation. Does not realize Wolfie's is hiding inside the box. Here we go. Pulls the Rift out and pops it.
Yep, and he makes sure he's on the backside of the circle, scouts everyone else. They're not letting anybody else on a free Rift, and also just going to pop his parachute and hang out because it's 26, boom, 25, so everyone getting the 3 points there. And now let's take a look at the rest of the lobby. Keemstar on the low ground, has already double qualified. Stompy as well now on board with Mitro here as he gets taken out by Lord Rohat, and that is monstrous. Did get the 3 points for the top 25, but not going to get any more. Mix and Stompy on the low ground. Nuji's Kaizen is about to go down as all of a sudden, now we're into the top 15. That was Mongraal. I apologize for speaking there. Stompy goes down as well. So nice little spree from Wolfie's all of a sudden. Up to 6 elims. You see Martaz also still in the lobby as we get closer to the top 10. Wolfie's continuing to take shots here, but not finding anything right now. Player next to him does own that wall, so just going to go 1 over.
Wolfie's an excellent example of timing the shot, timing the push. Doesn't have to move out too far ahead of the circle if he doesn't want to. You do get a little bit of that leeway. You have a chance to look back exactly as he's doing now and look for chances to take shots at players that are still on the move. Some shots from up above, that combat shotgun range, very effective. Basically the perfect range to scope in, ADS, take those shots, see if he can get full damage on it. Shot from above, third-party opportunity at the fish down below. Is he going to pick it up? And he does indeed, up to 41. 3 players left. Wolfie's at 41 points, 7 eliminations. A big game already. Launch pad's going to kind of be useless. A jump shot around the corner. Wolfie's picks up another elim. Looking at 8 right now, and he's in a 1v1 all the way up top. The player dropping in. Spoiler. Looking for any chance he can. Take an opportunity to take a shot. 25 builds. Both players sitting on about the both players sitting on about the same amount. A heads up 1v1 here. Someone's going to drop in on the other. Wolfies might make a climb before too long. Does have the flint knock and the launch pad if he wanted to do it. But just baiting the timing on a shot might be the most important play right now.
One thing to note, though, Spoiler has the high ground, also has 5 bandages and the campfire. If it goes to a full close, which happens in 45 seconds, he will have the advantage. But I don't think we're advantage, but loses the HP advantage as Spoiler puts himself back on the low ground. Spoiler in the top right, Wolfies in your bottom right. You can see the action on the wide. Here's that slight elevation change that's going to force Spoiler out. He goes out. Running out of builds, and Wolfie with the high ground retake from that flint knock, and he throws the tomato and the L dance at him afterwards, saying, that's my victory royale.
Both players running out of materials the last second, basically forced an engagement. The height advantage, I think, in my opinion, paid off the most, especially because you had a player force out of the storm to try and go for a shot. That flint knock play to push yourself up in the air, such a versatile weapon. Well played there.
I feel like we've seen so much more flint knock this week in particular. I don't know if it's because of the slight adjustment to the shotgun drop rates compared to the last solo week, but players are opting and carrying it a lot later and using it not only as the mobility component, which we've seen a lot of, but a lot more aggressively, like people pushing into boxes with flint knocks. We saw that last victory royale with it, and really enjoy seeing the different types of utility. I know you were saying how it's probably one of the most versatile weapons. I'd argue probably second only to the heavy sniper in terms of that, just because the heavy sniper literally does everything at all points in times. But I mean, just with how good these guys are with the flint, like I can pick up a heavy sniper and get a couple elims, like that's fine. Most of the players can because it's 150 the body, but these guys make the flint knock looks just so good.
I feel like the heavy sniper is the #1 weapon for assisting other weapons and getting eliminations. Rocket into a heavy snipe, even a double heavy sniper pushing in, take a wall, push in and shot movement mechanic on top of it. But it can't, like you said, it can't do things that the heavy sniper can do. You can't remove a wall with it on the spot. You can't chain it into other weapons. The flint knock, though, is you catch yourself with it. Both weapons, though, are crazy.
1A, 1B. How about that? There you go.
Exactly.
But yeah, I definitely do agree with you. The heavy sniper enabling others and giving you a long range component. But Airwalk's right there.
Top awareness. Just love to see it.
Disables Amzdalo and gets everything from it, but needs to circle back and try and get that chug and pop it like now if he wants the HP to get off of that.
50 and 83. Not too bad. Will still go down to a heavy snipe to the body. Got to look out for that. Looking for the quick angle change here. He might rotate out into the storm if he can flip this. If needed, the player still sitting right through that corner. You see he's checking through the brick, holding the edit on his own ramp. Closes the outside out, decides to rotate down underneath. Take the chance here to just box up a little bit, opting not to push that player. You can't really tell how much HP and shield they potentially have, so if he does go out there, he doesn't see what we see. Only 100, maybe 99 HP. Gross in there, but Airwalk's probably, I mean, the player of this caliber could easily push in a 96 and the follow through, like we said. There's a pickup. Airwalk's got up to 3 now, 32 points, and a ton of builds.
Yeah, and he got the Shadow Bomb for it, which for this longer rotation is going to be huge.
Just the one, though.
Yeah.
Just the one.
Just the one, and is going to pop it early. Also notice you can see that Storm Surge threshold on the right side. So what Storm Surge is, once you get into these later circles for circles 6 and 7, if there's more than 30 people left in the lobby, if you have been the passive player, Storm Surge will begin to punish you. You will start taking 10 damage every second as it comes out through. Once those strikes come on down, and now it turns off since we're below the 30 player threshold. So now just all about the elims and the rotation, since we're not even at the placement thresholds yet.
I just want to point out quick too, as you said, for passive players, Airwalk's definitely an example of not a passive player. He was 500, a little over 500 damage above the threshold, which is insane. And it's shots like that, 80 to the back on the fish on rotation, that kept him safe from Storm Surge. Crusher goes down. Airwalks picks up his 4th elimination. One more elim. We get the placement points here. The top 25, going to pick up 3 there. Get to top 15, that's 5. Top 5, that's 7. And that Victory Royale is 10. Reminding everybody, if you're just jumping into the stream, maybe you haven't heard what the format is like, always going to kind of refresh that in your memory. All the way up on high ground, looked like that might have been Skype. I'm not sure if dropped in. I'm not seeing him. I believe that was him all the way up there. Number of players, though, 25 heading into the 8th circle soon, as advised. 1 elimination, 35 points. No movement here. Bandages for late game, but that's not going to pay off right now. That is going to pay off. Carrera goes down. Another one, the follow-through finds Ghost on the move. Looking for the third. The triple gets it. Exon down. 4 eliminations now for Advise. Playing absolutely incredibly. The heads up right now. You'll love to see it.
Oh, baby, a triple. Well done right there. And that was Skype up on the high ground. You saw him now just drop back down with a number of players going up, getting closer to that second placement threshold. Skype picks up Yahtzee. Mick the Beast also in this lobby. Another player who we've seen constantly in the top 5, desperately trying to get a solo spot. Because, again, this is the last week. Casarola does get ticked over by that storm change. Again, 60 seconds if you damage someone. Random Siphon coming through, and we're into the top 15 now with Airwalks on the mid-tarp and looking for more targets.
Imagine a situation you get a tag on someone and 50 seconds later they get eliminated by the storm. You get that Siphon at just the right moment. Could be so clutch. The timing could be so important on that. 11 players left, 10 now as Sky goes down to the feed. Swaggy picks one off. 6 eliminations for Airwalks. Push through this wall, find a player on the rotation from behind, back-to-back shots, takeoffs, gets eliminated. Airwalks picks up another one.
He's doing so well at finding people on the edge of the storm, getting next to him, and then just dipping out for a second. But the one thing you notice, he never dips out into the storm for longer than enough to take more than 1 tick. It does take a second to go through, and Majestic actually just picked up a triple of his own because of those storm changes. 1 player he elimed, 2 got ticked over from the storm. That should be the player potentially up on the high ground, but now we have our top 5. Airwalks, 2 builds left, is running with that campfire now, but is sitting on 7 elims. Advise all the way up on the high ground. Majestic was on the low ground with Mick the Beast. Airwalks in the bottom right-hand corner gets traded out by Mick the Beast. Zadek drops down in the shadow form. He's not jumping around, so the player doesn't know where he is. 80 to the body. Can he find it? Pushes through with the combat. Says, I don't need a pickaxe. I'll just take your wall anyway. Brilliantly done there, but now can he win the 1v1 from the low ground? Player is 1 box directly above him. He hears it. You see the fake ramps out. He goes up, edit off the side, takes the high ground, drops out on top of 1, 2, 3. He gets it.
Literally waiting till the last second. The fake out on the ramp with just, I think he had 1 build left at the last second. So he was literally the most, almost the most efficient he could possibly be with all the materials that he had left. Opts to move up a different ramp, throws the opponent off, drop in from above. Excellent high ground take, excellent push with the combat shotgun, and the victory royale. You love to see it.
Well done there from Zadek now. You see Marcotte and Fool right on the edge of the zone. An intense little 1v1 right now. Trap does go down defensively. Fool saying, I'm having absolutely none of that. You can see he wants to try and get the materials that are there. Trap does get broken on the other side by Marcotte. And now you get a nice little box fight. So this is one of the things, if you want to learn how to get good at competitive Fortnite, learn to fight from a box. Blows the whistle, says it's time to go.
The whistle to signal the push. Honestly, oh, that's very funny. Push in there. Fool gets 2 taps there. The shotgun follows through a 92 crit. Gets him the elimination. Gonna double back, pick up the rest of that wood, anything that he can top off with. Oh, shots coming in from the sides. Gonna have to wall himself off, double air, and Ops, instead of popping the minis, to shadow bomb, just because I think the fear of positioning there and exposure. Maybe adding a little too much attention. Did take 1 more tap on the move. Gonna have a chance to heal up. Meanwhile, the top of this hill, thick with players. Where they stacked up, trying to make rotation here. 41. Actually there from the stream. Trick Pog taken forward.
Crew also in the match was second last time we saw him there. We got a number of duo qualifiers over on the side there. Players looking to get their solo spot. You see Kuma using the stink to try and force the player forward and then editing out. Boom, there goes the second one, knowing they can't stack in volume. And Quadra, that one smells. Go get yourself a gas mask. Try and queue back up.
Okay, we're sitting on 3 elims now, holding the edit. Just gonna try and peek on through, deciding to apply a little more pressure. Oh my gosh, the back-to-back. The stink bombs, very lethal, especially at this point in the game. You have to realize these players understand if there's people that were caught rotating, got tagged up significantly, and didn't have the ability to heal, as will be the case quite often in games like this, where you have so many people in such a tight space. there's a good chance that people that are boxed up in front of you are potentially missing HP, maybe some fall damage, maybe they got hit by multiple people on rotation. They could have been, I mean, we even saw a Shadow Bomb player get shot just moments before that, and we're about 50 HP. That is a good opportunity to just chuck the stink in there, maybe do an HP check, see if they're low, and in this case, it pays off. 2 eliminations with basically no effort. And as you said before, we're looking to get the player count down to 30 before that Storm Surge goes away. We're sitting at 38 above for Dave, 32 players left, so 2 more need to go down.
Oop, boxes the baller in. The baller is going to just boost right on out, says I want nothing to do with that. Now you can see on the side, Dave getting another tag there. You see that threshold number also going up. Needs to be conscious. He left that edit open, but the player, because his back is to the Storm, isn't going to have time to take shots towards him. So well played from Dave. Other player pushes it, and Tripburn from Singularity kind of caught a little bit there. Seemed like he was going for an aggro play, but
I think potentially he expected Dave to not look back because, the catch. Good grab there. Tripburn, I feel like was thinking, okay, Dave's not looking at me. I'm just going to step out. I have the angle. I'm going to take the shots from this side. And ended up kind of getting clapped very quickly. Dave's reaction, rotation down there. I'm not sure how to say that name. I'm just going to put that out. It looks like a sneeze. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm not even, normally even try and attempt on that, but we're in the top 25. Let's pay attention to the rotations. As you see, a number of players playing billiards there on the low ground, Crew up on the high ground. You have WGS Jag, the player from South Korea, playing over in Europe right now. This is the most ballers I've seen in the lobby in forever.
The most ballers I've seen in the game easily this weekend.
I mean, I don't think we saw this many ballers in Europe when they were at 300 health. Europe has an affinity or like a particular hatred towards ballers rolling around.
We've made comments in the past about how they always seem to be fans of taking shots at players that are in ballers on the move when they have an opportunity to. Maybe a follow through here, the back-to-back, can't quite find it. But yeah, look at how many are left out on the field. This is a very rare sight for European qualifiers.
I mean, and it kind of compounds on top of itself because the more players who are in ballers, they aren't going to take shots at each other. And if you're not going to waste shots on baller players, you're not going to eliminate them. So, but once the explodes start coming out, that's when things get dicey because the RPGs can damage through the ballers, and with the 150 HP, 1 AR round into them and then followed by an RPG can be a ton of damage. But now Pill is just going to go to work, ignore the ballers on the low ground, running around like they're a game of marbles, and he finds Trockley and he finds Elocrats right after.
13 players left. So on the rotation here, taking a chance to pop a mini. Does have the campfire, may or may not put it down. Not at this point. The Storm's too close to his back. He's going to have to push forward. Like you said, multiple ballers are still in play, and with players not jumping out and not having pressure applied to them, you're looking at way less than 11 people. The player count remaining, that's not the number that are actually forced to engage each other right now. The people in ballers are almost being ignored. The heavy snipe from behind, and Mavjo picks up and Elim the push inside. He realizes him. Look at how many people are around in the same box.
And then said everybody goes up to the sky. No Elim coming out there. So all of a sudden, 3 up, 7 down. Talazeto on the ultimate high ground. Wesley Nutt and Blackso on the low ground. Jag ADX also on the mid tarp. Talazeto looking for shots. Has redeploy and the flint knock. Not going to find any. So ultimate high is going to be in his control. 10 players left, but he gets challenged.
One more all the way in the high ground. Just barely lost it. The flint knock flying up above. What a play. Takes the high ground back. Has ultimate high, looking down from above, only 29 builds. Has the redeploy to catch himself if he has to jump off, if he runs out of materials, but we'll see here in a second.
Somebody else just went up.
Yep, you heard it, there it is, the fish flying past. Talazito might take a shot. The flint knock kind of gets stuck in his own box for a second. This ADX dropping in Mexi from Loot Boy. In the middle of your screen there, Talazito still has the high ground, drops down to the next tarp. Mexi building out, trying to stay in the safe zone. This is the most players we've seen in a zone this tight in a long time. The Rift.
That's one. Is one player up in the rift. So you have one player up in the sky. Talazeto on ultimate high ground. Power, Psyches, and Blackso down the low. You have Talazeto in your top right. Power in your bottom right. Talazeto looking for it, and he finds Mexi out of the sky, and he gets the Cypher. Now he's dropping down with the redeploy, looking for Psychic on the campfire, and he finds it. Gets the Siphon, and it's enough to put him over the top for the victory royale. Talazito, you are mad indeed. The 2 Elims being the swing. 12 points there. Well done, sir.
The transition of the shot with the flint knock midair into an immediate descend, the redeploy to catch himself, and then the swap to the TAC AR and spray through the build while the player was sitting on top of both campfires. 200 IQ.
That was
Oh my
really
gosh.
well played from Telezato. That's probably some of the best overall flint knock usage we've seen. We took
Well
high
done.
ground, I think, twice.
You did.
Going there, and then additionally picked up a sick elim on the player out of the air with that heavy shot, and then dropped down. I mean, just well done.
Literally, you were saying he was unchallenged for high ground, immediately got challenged, and then used the flint knock on a single build out to take it back and force the player to drop. Well played. Well played indeed. What a loadout for the late game, too. Anyway, 43 players left. Next game, Europe.
42 players
42 players remaining. I just shouldn't say it sometimes. Looking for 41 players remaining here in a second. Someone trying to pick up another one. That was the first elimination for this player this game. By the way, quick reminder, 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. If you would like to queue in, you're in the European region, now's the time to do it. Those last couple in. This is the last week for solos to qualify to punch that ticket to New York City. Don't forget it.
And after that, there's no more solo spots. 8 more players will be advancing from Europe. We'll have 6 from NA East, 2 from NA West, and 1 coming out of Brazil. And then the solos competition will be completely rounded out. These are the final moments. Again, don't forget, we will go a little bit longer than the queue times because the average game of full Fortnite is about 26 minutes long. So need to let everyone finish up, get all of those results tallied in, because every single time it's going to come down to the last match of the server, those top point lobbies. And right now, Motor is trying to make a case to get into one of those lobbies as he's sitting in this cone looking for a peek. 42 players remaining, so again, everyone playing absurdly safe. Nobody wants to put themselves at risk, and Motor recognized that, trying to pile in on that player as Paquito and Freck get taken down, and we have our top 40, Tohaj, being taken down as well, and we're still 14 players away from the first placement threshold.
Get into the first full move circle here in a second. Circle 6 to 7, transition to the northwest. It'll be an interesting one, too. A number of players up on top of a hill. You see in the mini-map there, that left side based around the supply crate on the map. Holding the edit here. Motor trying to look out and see if there's anybody that might squeak out. He's looking back immediately behind him. I don't know if he realizes the player up above has an RPG. Oh, he does now. If he didn't before, surprise, there it is. A quick attempt. And the seal off, the close off of the edit there. Quick reset, well played from whoever that is inside.
Yeah, I just saw a nightmare situation where he had pushed out right after that for the shot and just accidentally stepped in front of the heavy sniper bullet. Now you can see that Storm Surge turning on right there. Motor, more than fine, 502 above. Might regret popping that Shadow Zone since had a community launchpad placed right next to him, but he's...
Oh, I don't think he regrets it anymore. Honestly, Sundown, I think he's pretty happy about how that turned out. What a shot on rotation, a quick 180 in the combat to the dome, picks up an elim. Sundown's mouth is literally sitting open. You can't believe what he saw. That was ridiculous.
But one thing that players might not be aware of, he bunny hopped right there to get maximum distance. So what that is spamming your jump button right as you hit the ground to get a little bit of extra horizontal distance, and it carried him past the player. So he 180 and one hit him with the combat. That's what I talk about when, like, sometimes I feel like these guys are playing a different game than I am.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I know for a fact I can do all of those things.
That's not Fortnite. I don't know what that is, but that's not Fortnite. That's some craziness.
It's nuts. These guys pushing the envelope, but Mongrel, speaking of pushing the envelope, not going to pull a Mitro on the dual partner there, opens the door, gets over onto the side, and is desperately looking for every point he can. Doesn't want any interaction if he can avoid it. Will he find it? 2 HP? And he does! Motor gets taken down. 26 players remaining. Mongrel, that could have been your moment in the box. 2 HP. Erosi gets Aki. That's 2 more points going over for him. That could be huge. That could be it. And now Mongrel on the side of the zone, back up to 75 HP. What can he do with it? Will the siphon in the mats be enough? 70 materials on the side of the zone. 24 players left. Less than 5 minutes left in the queue times. If you want to go to New York City, you show up right now. And unfortunately, Mongrel is out. Let's see if he can get another queue as the rest of the match is now running. Provoked up on the high ground. You see Stompy, Martez also hanging out. Martez trying to take the high ground away, but SV Alman is up there as we hit the second placement threshold. Top 15 now.
Stompy picking up another elimination in the feed. Provoked at 3 eliminations from Fnatic here. Stompy picking up actually another one. Stompy absolutely owning the feed. Provoked trying to box up, stay alive, very edge of the zone. Takes the chance, an opportunity to pop that slurp and get a little bit of a tick. He moves forward, trying to top off the HP. Players fighting underneath him, looking for a chance to establish a base of operations on the move here. And it's going to be difficult. Does get the mini off, though. Looking for players from behind. Very common tactic here. You get into a safe area where even if it might be 3-4 meters, catches someone in the face with that combat shotgun. You look for any chance for a quick whip back, anybody moving in from the outside of the storm, because they're the ones that they're forced to move in. You can't sit out there. And so even if you have 3, 4, 5 feet ahead of them, you can look back and get a shot off and pick up an elimination. 40 seconds left on that European queue. Get in those games if you're going to try and get the last ones in. Quick edit, a peek through. Cubx gets tapped one time, very low. Now you have to remember there's a 60-second window after that damage where if storm damage maybe claims that player gets an elimination, it's going to count for provoked. Dropping in here, 8 players left. Quick swap, shot, back to back, and MQ goes down. Looking for another, players underneath on rotation. Quick headed down, a push in, finds another on the outside. One more, looks for another, gets it. Stompy gets another. 3 eliminations, the triple in the feed, and there's 3 players left. Provoke on the ultimate low ground right now. 1 mini pop, moves all the way to the edge, pops.
First
campfire down.
He's getting pressure from both sides now, and this is the top 3. Can't find the shot. It's AIM Cubx who gets it. That's 52 points for Provoked. And again, each one of these elims, each one of them matters more when you're in these high points lobby. Martaz on the high ground, Cubx on the low ground, 39 to 49 points. Martaz wants to close this out. 27 builds to the 0 of Cubx, and that's going to be it. Martaz closes that one out. 43 points so far. Queue times are closed. The last matches will be coming in, but for now, we're going to throw it back on over to Courage, who's in the studio.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, that is it for the queues out in Europe. You see how dramatic it can be in these final moments. We still have more games to bring you. We want to make sure you get caught up to speed on those exact last matches, but I know, Zeke, we've had some things you were taking a look at that you want to show everyone at home.
Yeah, man, let's do this. We've got some cool clips as we make our way into the station. Just some really fun clips that I wanted to take a moment to talk about. Wolfsies, of course, just had a dope flick shot. Look at that, over on Violent, and just absolutely incredible. This is the level of skill. And I just want to highlight his rifling skills and just the way he approaches this fight. He knows the players down below, no builds, and you can just see he's using that brick floor, just ducking behind, making sure it's absorbing as much damage as possible. Airwalks. This is someone for me that I truly believe, and I want to see go to the World Cup Finals, especially with the last opportunity. Him and his duo partner Nikov have already qualified in duos, right? We even know his other teammates, Kinstar and Hunter, have also qualified. The difference is that Kinstar right now is the only member from Solary that is qualified for the solo format, and Airwalks is looking to do the same. We're going to watch this incredible spree. Just look at the way he's navigating all this density, right? His game sense and his awareness is on point. He's going to pick up 8 elimination total in this run. Now, unfortunately, he does not end up getting the Victory Royale, but just look at this. He's unbelievable. Once he gets going, it's very difficult for him, for anyone to stop him. Now, we're going to see his untimely demise here. He is going to go and try and challenge a player. He's going to pick them off, and he does get traded back out. Now, keep in mind, though, he did make top 5, so he still got the points from that. Now, Tolecito, we saw this incredible play. I thought this was incredible because he used the Flint Knock to shut down Mexi up on the high ground. And then just look at the HP from everyone else. He has HP advantage. He's so confident. He's just going to dive down and try and go for the challenge. Even if the player had traded out, he would have been in a pretty good state either way. So it was a pretty good game for these players. I mean, it's finals day. You know everyone's showing up big, making plays.
Insane right there. To have the confidence to drop on down, redeploy. But, guys, I'm not going to hold this up. We've got our final games from the European region. Who will make it to the Fortnite World Cup Finals? Let's find out.
Thank you so much, Courage. Also, just want to give a shout out real quick to the guy running the AR wall. Whoever picked the screen that was right there, the way the 2 lines lined up with the black floor.
That was actually
it looked, I was sitting here and I'm like, all right, that's a cool shot. So, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. We give a bunch of love to the observers. Give him some love right there. Great screen. But now we're on board. Again, these are the absolute final matches. Queue times are done. We are in Europe, 8 spots up for grabs for the Fortnite World Cup Final. This is your last opportunity. If you are one of the best, you need to prove it right now, or you will not be on that stage. You won't be playing with Tfue, with X2 Jordan, with Stompy, and 6J trying to make a case for being there as he picks up Zgrin and then gets on his rotation.
Absolutely ridiculous. Between games there, while everybody was watching the quick replay analysis, Sundown and I were talking about the different regions and just how certain aspects of each region stand out, and I think it's unanimous agreement that Europe has some of the best technical Fortnite and some of the most aggressive play that I think we've ever seen, and it is so much fun to talk about and so much fun to watch because these players are playing on a level that I don't think you have to imagine back in the day when Fortnite was, it was the battle royale portion was in its, early days. No one imagined the game would get to this. You can't possibly have said, oh yeah, one day we're gonna watch players, the technical skill and building and quickly editing and dropping in through floors and pushing walls and doing all these things, everything that they do. No one would have imagined it was gonna come to this, the quick edits and push through Kaizen, picking up the first Elam. It's things like this. You could not have told me this is what Fortnite was going to evolve into. And you have to admit, whether you love or hate the game, no matter what you think about it, how things have changed and grown is fantastic to see. People are really pushing the technical skill that I think Fortnite has to offer in a way that no one could have predicted.
I mean, it's actually absurd to me, and like I said, I've been able to be a part of the process from playtesting through all of this.
You've been around since the beginning.
Yeah, I've never would have fathomed that players were doing this. I think one of the first things when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's good because you can be aggressive because you can like build at someone in your own cover. You don't just like hide behind a wall and stuff. And now it turns into, instead, these guys are building literal tunnels and mansions and skyscrapers in the span of 2 seconds. I think one of the plays we saw yesterday with the player, one by one, threw a trap down, edited a ramp, and shot all in the span of 0.2 seconds. So I'm like, all right, you're playing a different game than me. Yeah, right there. Skype taking away Yarkos' ceiling with a single shot, double replaces it, double edits down, and then pushes in the space of nearly a half second. And he gets it 50, or I was about to say 57, but 60 points now as the top 15 does
literally just
take over. The player gets taken down, and Skype is creeping up into that qualification range. Again, top 8 players will go, and this is the last shot. How they earn the points, top 25 is 3, top 15 is 5, top 5 is 7, the victory royale is 10. Each Elam is 1, and Skype certainly knows that. He's been playing absurdly aggro. If he hits you, he wants to go.
You saw for just a second in there a quick attempt at maybe a heavy sniper shot, but he realized it wasn't loaded, opted it back to try and push through the ramp instead. Very quick thinking on Skype's part, the swap out for the combat shotgun instead of the tac. Pretty common there, player looting inside, but Skype more focused on rotation and position, as placement points will be everything for a player that is this close to making it to New York City.
That was so good by him to go around the back side of that building so he could extend the Shadow Bomb timer up to now get up to the mid-tarp. You have Light up on the high ground, 13 up Nay, now just dropping down on the tarp below Skype. So Skype is on secondary high, but he's boxed up right now. Light's going to begin to work top down as we still have a number of ballers who are going to begin to get shot out as we head towards the second placement threshold. Kinzel gets taken down there, and Light continues to rain shots down onto these ballers, saying, hey, you got to play Fortnite with the rest of us. Burn your mask, get out of there. Top 15 is on the board. John22 on Twitch picks up Calzo. Uno OG goes down, and Light continues to check his top, make sure he's safe, and then rain shots down. Dalo gets taken out as we get closer and closer to the top 10.
12 players remaining. Light still ultimate high ground. Skype right underneath. And I believe I saw for a moment Benji Fishy was in this game, but it looks like he's been eliminated at this point. Kaizen on the ultimate low ground, going to have to take an opportunity to heal up if possible. 9 players left, and Light is looking for a peak shot on a player in rotation, trying to challenge potentially the high ground. The pyramid of the play underneath kind of signals to me maybe not pushing up just yet, and I think Light realizes that, taking a chance to look down at maybe other players in the move, and yeah, he sees another one. There's a scent of potentially elimination. Light getting challenged for high ground now.
It's Rapti. Rapti's going for it and then drops back down, realizing he's not going to be able to take it. Pops the shadow form and goes all the way down to the far side. We're nearing the top 5. Now, one thing to keep an eye on, look at the points next to the names. 56 on Light, 64 on Skype. This is for a trip to New York City, as Light is able to pick up 59 there. They want everything they can. 6J gets Rapti, but Skype trades it right back out and loops back into the zone. Skype on the edge of the mountain tries to find the jump pad, and he gets it going to the Sky. Light trades out Miles on the top, so now 60 to 67 points, but Skite on 55 HP. Light pops the Shadow Bomb. What's he gonna do? Opts to drop down, so now Skite has to know he's down there. Skite has no mobility. Storm ticks it over. Light gets the Elim credit as well, and that's gonna push him up to 64 as well, so evens it up. We're getting down to the final moment.
Depending on where this was in their games played, we're looking at 64 and 67 players for Light and Skite respectively. That potentially could have been a prevention for Skite to make it to New York City, or pushing Light all the way close enough to qualify if he has a game left. People have to realize these end games, when you see players at those point counts fighting it out for the victory royale, it can mean the difference. We saw it, I think, last week in NA East, a team just literally fighting the last second, the very last match, and the fact that one team took the win is what put them in the placement to make it.
It was week 6 duos, and it was RBK versus the Cooler Boys. The Cooler Boys ended up winning the 2v2 from the low ground, got the victory royale, and the 3-point difference from the victory royale, not even the Elims, was enough to deny the RBK Boys the spot. So when we talk about high impact eliminations, high impact engagements, and everyone mattering, when the queues are closed, these are the last matches on the server, so not exactly live, but about 5 to 10 minutes delayed, you are deciding your trips, you're deciding other people's fates, and these are the moments when you need to clutch up. We've talked about before, you don't have to be the best, but you need to be better than the person across from you. And when you're dealing with the best of the best in a trip to New York City, that's still got to be really good.
Yeah. That's why I'm here behind the desk and not at the game.
I'm so glad these guys are so good. They make our job so incredibly easy.
And so much fun.
If the gameplay was really difficult, it'd be hard, but it's so hype. You guys are so good. Just shout out again one time, #Fortnite World Cup, to all of the players who have competed in the arena, in the tournaments, on Saturday, on Sunday. Thank you so much for doing this and making incredible plays and giving us this opportunity.
I do want to say too that one of the most common, I think, criticisms of competitive Fortnite is typically, the shots through, kills almost finding that Elim, gets one big hit, can't quite find the second. Exotics does pick that Elim up. I was going to say, one of the most common criticisms of competitive Fortnite is, everybody's sitting in 1-by-1s, not doing anything. You know, it's kind of slow play from time to time. I want them to pull this stream up and watch through these European games. Let us get to NA East and NA West and just how much pressure they apply at times. We literally just saw a player run out, push through a box with a heavy snipe and push inside and get an elimination, feeding into like window edits and shots through there with a combat shotgun. Competitive Fortnite, there's tension, there's action, there's pressure applied from every angle sometimes. You really have to dig in and watch long durations of this to see all the craziness that happens, because people are elevating the gameplay every time we watch it.
There's so many nuances, and I think the best part for me is every single day there's something new somebody is doing to push the envelope.
Yep.
There's always something somebody finds that is able to do, and every patch that comes out, somebody finds a new combination, or there's something that's slightly better, as Excite has now picked up 6 Elims in this match. We've seen 3 of them. Woo! We've now seen 4 of them going to work with the legendary AR and the Shadow Bombs on the rotation, getting himself over to the sides of zones and then posting up and taking shots. You can notice, again, one thing, when you box up on an opponent's material, go over and up a grid space. You never want to be on the same level or one wall away from somebody else. Make them break 2 walls every single time, always.
You're asking to get pushed quickly if you land side by side, especially if you're about to force a fight for a wall. Sight looking for shots here on players in the rotation, a little bit ahead inside the circle. A rocket coming in a quick close, the close off the edit. Good reset there. He's going to catch it before it blows him up. Looking back behind, player rotating the outside. He sees the silhouette, watching for the shot, takes it, gets it. Voxy goes down up to 198 total HP and 8 eliminations. We'll get a top 15 here in one more player needs to go down. Sight the forefront of the storm now. Waiting his time, trying to wait for that Shadow Bomb to tick out so we can box up.
This is an incredible game so far from Excite. With that pushing over, he's on a 13-point match right now. Let's look at the rest of the lobby. Archer up on the high ground. You have Miko, Lars, Wallboom, Motor, and Zyflare all on the mid-tarp. Rest of the players on the low ground. You see Noodle Kongan just get ticked over from the storm there. Motor going to begin to work top down, sitting on 41 points. Gets the headshot, knows there's white damage there. player in the box, sees him get eliminated, but he wants to continue moving forward. That was Maxa and Excite, who both just got picked up, and Motor is completely out of builds with no elims. He has to find something or has to find a way to drop down. Luckily, a player building on the tarp beneath sees the Shadow Bomb drop, and he's going to use the Pine Tree to not take fall damage, find Go-Go's on the side, and also gets all of his mats and a med kit on 80 HP. That could be huge. You have the ability with the campfire, but he's dealing with such limited ammunition in terms of the small rounds. Wallboom goes down to Artur, and we get closer and closer to the final placement threshold before the victory royale. Motor opts to pop the campfire early. If he goes to full 100, this could end up being detrimental to him trying to medkit if we go to full heal. However, don't think that's going to happen with 90 seconds left. Antaret gets Miko, and we're into the top 5.
44 points right now for Motor. Pressure from above. Gonna have to box up and wait. See if anybody can make the move. Like you said, a big material pickup just moments ago for Motor, but not enough ammunition to make a difference. Artur on the ultimate high drops down and reconnects quickly. Very important move there. You see he places a couple services and builds his way back up. Quick shotty shot. Anthrax trying to apply pressure. Player drops in, shots on the outside, gets Lars. Gonna have to rotate into the zone quickly as that storm is ticking for 10. 3 players left and pressure from underneath. Anthrax sitting on 2 builds, 15 bandages, but it's not gonna be enough to keep himself safe unless he picks up this elim, maybe some materials. 2 big hits, can't quite find the elimination. Gonna try and get ahead of the build. Shot from above. Pressure from the third party, and Motor picks up that elimination. A 1v1 heads-up situation. Motor at a huge disadvantage in the storm, ticking slowly, and Artur sitting on enough builds maybe to apply pressure. Down to 10 now, the drop in, and finds the elimination. Only 2, but it still gets the job done. A 12-point victory royale pushes Artur to 42 points thus far.
And again, don't forget, with the prize pool being doubled this week, even if you don't get one of those qualification spots there, the money is doubled in every single one of the placements. So each one of those interactions could be the difference in a little bit of a bigger paycheck. But now we're swinging right on board over towards one of the snowy biome areas in Happy Hamlet. 38 players in this match.
I think Happy Hamlet's worthless.
And what's it like? As in you don't like the drop spot,
No,
or
terrible.
as in like the town like shouldn't have ever been developed?
I think that they have outdated laws about leashing your dogs, and I also think that the loot positioning is poor. I do not like Happy Hamlet. If you agree with me, hashtag Fortnite World Cup.
All right, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. What is your favorite solo drop spot? I know Lupo's is a not Happy Hamlet, so what's your favorite solo spot? What's your current solo drop spot?
My go-to typically is going to be, okay, so there's a little pirate camp in the southwest of Pressure Plant that before the volcano went off, that's where I was consistently dropping. Recently, though, because of the changes, I really like Valhalla. I like the Dance Club. If I'm dropping solos and I'm not going for, like, because there's a different play style.
Competitive, super serious, ultra World Cup qualifier where you're dropping solos.
I'll go Valhalla, and if that's contested, I'll fly past to Snobby.
Okay, cool.
I like that west side of the map, typically because it is not often challenged. You have so many opportunities for rotation. And the only problem is, like, you have the rocket base that now is kind of decayed a little bit to the northeast of Snobby. You have Valhalla that's up there. That you have a lot of places where there's going to be people that can see down from above. But I mean, you also have a quad in there. You can quad fly your way back over the tilted. What a back-to-back! That was 2 shots sequentially.
62 on the first guy for the body shot, finds the second player rotating and hits him with the headshot. We talk about the flintlock efficiency in the right hand. Scoggin, the right hand's there, just wow, you talk about the pirate camp right there, going to work with the flintlock. I'm a big fan of the west side of the map too. I know the little kind of broken house between Viking Village and where Polar was that's down there has 3 chest spawns, and you can rotate away. There's mushrooms there. That's one of my drop spots.
Ice too. You can feed into Greasy if you want to. There's a lot of chances to move over there. I think the west side of the map right now is one of the best for solos.
I'm just upset. I lost the covered bridge down south in between Lucky down there. Has 2 spawns on itself, and then the pirate cannon that used to be there had 2 spawns, and then the house had a spawn. So there's 5 spawns that were all in the one spot, and then you move right into old factories. It was really good, but lost that one unfortunately. Now on board here with Styler CSC sitting on 42 points. You can see him trying to edit down the rest of the lobby.
Not sure about that shadow bomb.
He popped the shadow bomb like he was gonna rotate. He saw the supply crate and then like
I think he thought about it for a second and said, you know what, I already used the Shadow Bomb. I don't want to make this, I don't want to feel like this goes to waste, so I'm just going to, instead, I'm going to push for rotation.
But you can see in the bottom right-hand corner there, that supply drop just goes completely to waste. There was no one there. Let's look at the rest of the lobby. Martaz, Kripa, Waldo, Kisanth, Orc H, Fool, Bayonne, Mods, Blazin, so many players. Mexi over there in a baller rolling around. Talazito in there and still above storm damage. So if you are rolling around in the ball, you will be getting the ticks going there. Have to play aggression, have to play aggressive going through to turn that off or just tag somebody.
Knox in the feed a second ago, I believe, being eliminated by the Storm. Looks like that threshold did get to him, down to 31 players. Need one more to go down before Storm Surge is no longer a factor. 94 above right now for Styler, taking quick peeks, maybe thinking I need to get a hit on somebody before it's too late. I'd say back-to-back hits is pretty good there. Picking up an Elim, pushing it to 30 remaining. One through the wall to right, quick shot, misses twice but finds a third. Tart goes down, picking up the second Elim so far for Styler, sorry. 29 players left, we're 4 away from placement points. And this is so many people trying to rotate simultaneously through not even the ultimate low ground, but just kind of the mid is just full of people. Yes. Every single layer is a fresh tarp, and you have tons of new builds and a lot of metal coming up.
A lot of metal going through it, and you've got to work through the old builds as Brism gets taken down and misses out on the placement point. So now on board here with Haibuzin as he makes his rotation. Mexi out of the baller, picks up Sabine. Ghosty gets taken down as well as Haibuzin. As he edits down, gets the shot, and then the tick over from the fall damage, I think?
No,
that player might have gone through.
I think that player that he shot actually survived. There was a storm.
Oh, it was the other player who went through. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, understood.
Fool picking up an elimination with fall damage in your feet in the top. 4 Elims right now. Haibuzin trying to push up through. Like I was saying, the player builds that are out there right now, so difficult to push through if they're metal. It requires so many more melee hits from your pickaxe to try and break. It's going to slow you down. You're going to take storm damage from it. It's going to put you in a worse position. You won't be able to get to the forefront of the storm while other players are trying to rotate. Next from Loot Boy, looking for a peek shot there. Going to drop out of the box. Looks like a little bit of a delay there.
Just madness on that low ground. Everyone is down there as we're getting closer. Boom, there it is. Top 15. Styler does get taken down on that mid-tarp by Mods. Harvey gets Kisan. Mexi gets taken down by Zealous. Bayonne there. Brilliantly done. Topped out on the light ammo. Kripa gets Fool as Mods gets Blazin, and we're into the top 10. Top 5 being left.
Drops Martaz in with the edit. Catches him on the move with the corner edit and a quick swap.
Oh, man. Sorry. That was insanity. What a quick reaction there, man. Now at 2 eliminations. Only 24 builds, but G just picked up all that brick a second ago. He's digging through any materials he has left. Bodobon all the way in the high ground right now. A single layer across, but it doesn't really matter. No one's looking up, and he's got RPGs for days. Looks like he's going to look down from above and try and take shots.
Good pickup, some Kripa on this mid-tarp right now as Bothobon is going to work down. Bayonne on the mid-tarp. Top 5 just happened as Haibuzin gets ticked over. Shadow, will he be able to pick it up? Bayonne gets Shadow, though, on the turn. Can Bayonne catch back up to the zone?
The ramp.
Kripa gets caught by Bothobon on the high ground. The single tarp strategy on the high ground. The one rocket he fires down for an Elim and the victory. He says you can take that out. 11 points coming out from Bothobon.
Well played there. Even just the single layer of brick, because there were so many layers of material below, that's actually really, really good thinking on his part as he's moving forward. He looks down and says, no one's going to challenge me. There's so much mass in the way that no one's looking up. I just need to keep this, I got to find a spot to connect it. And he dropped down and did that, that's a super common strategy, especially in duos. Typically, you have players that are one's applying pressure, taking shots at people, while the other drops down and reconnects the builds, and they swap roles back and forth. I think we see Tfue and Cloakzy do that all the time. If you watch the stream, it's super, super common.
Zay and Saf, another duo that kind of I don't want to say like made that more prolific, but like watching their VODs and watching them do it is kind of like, oh, here's the blueprint for how you go about doing this
exactly. You're connecting the canopy of your build to structure that's already established underneath, because then if somebody shoots out what's way back in the storm, you're not going to run back and replace it. But now it doesn't matter because you have another branch connecting underneath.
That, and then you're all good. Well done from them there. As we're on board here with Solari Airwalks, 49 players left, so just a tick under half of the lobby. Storm Circle 5 is closing, and we're also going to be rotating through pressure plant, so lots of geysers, lots of innate natural mobility, and a decent amount of mats and metal that can be reused. So it should be interesting to see what ends up happening here as we hop on board here with Train H's Alpha. Train H being the team Train Hard, hits the geyser and says, I'm going to zone.
There's players all the way up on the drone in the sky above. You've seen Alpha on rotation, checking up above quickly. Going to layer up twice to stay away from the player underneath. You don't want to get dropped in on somebody else's structure. Replacing the ramp with a cone so you can get quick edits in whatever direction you need. I do want to make a quick statement. You see these kind of edits, he's looking for shots now, and then he'll quickly do a reset after he feels like he's shot for long enough. You don't want to get caught gargoyling, tunnel visioning on somebody where you're exposed and someone might take a shot. And there's a lot of players in front of him. He might not see them, but they're there. But what I was going to say is oftentimes we see players do like the window edit and then instantly reset so that they can get transparency through the metal or the brick. More often now I've been seeing players do a door instead of a window because at this level, even that imagine you have 3, 4, 5 frames where there's a window open, someone might sneak a snipe shot or rocket something in through the window and you're gonna get punished. Door doesn't do that.
So close the door.
Well, yeah, you put the door in and it's still just a solid surface. So you prevent any opportunity for somebody to sneak a shot in. Yampi there, I was going to say, you might want to reset that window. Speaking of.
Mongrel in the lobby, Crew in the lobby as well. You can see Mongrel currently sitting on 55 points. Last time we saw him, he was at that 50 mark. So down to it. You can also see Storm Surge. He's 98 damage above it. Again, that will get turned off at 30 players, so expect aggression to come out. Second Shadow Bomb being popped and just trying to get to the far side of the zone, get away from people, box up and be safe. Mongrel wants to play patiently, wants to not be eliminated early. Generally, you're used to seeing him play much more aggressive, but with everything on the line, with the queues being closed, with the last opportunity to book a seat in New York City, he knows he can't mess up. He has to get points here if he wants to be going.
You got to be thinking these players too when they're back.
Airwalks and Alpha Amons are both in the lobby. I apologize, but this place is stacked.
No, it's insane. You're right. I was going to say players typically too at this level that are watching the queue and watching the leaderboard, they're going to ready up and then they're going to immediately go look to see where they are on the board as they go into the next game. Even sometimes they have a chance during their, like when they're boxed up in here, they'll pull up the leaderboard if they can on the website, something like that, and see if they can find out just how many points they need to make in order to place. Does not surprise me that Mongrel's trying to play a little safer, pushing over the top of this campfire player underneath. Another one boxing up inside metal. A lot of layers here. An attempt to maybe get a little bit of an advantage here in terms of elevation, pushing forward, branching into the next circle.
Oh, Baller almost took out his build there, which could have been absolutely devastating. Would have dropped him down. No tarp beneath. 28 players remaining. Look for shots. He finds it.
There we go.
There you go. Leon Flares goes down. 26 players remaining. Wolfies gets picked up by Criff. Mongrel up to 56 points. Looking for it, and that's 59 now as he hits the top 25. Player directly next to him on the box, but trying to pop that, and Crew goes down as well. Was in the top 25, but that was the player who was in the second place last time we saw him. You have Windstrike Mayhem, who was within distance. Now you have Airwalks, the Solari player, at 53 points, trying to drop him down. RPG up on the high ground. He follows it right away. Suat gets swatted out of the sky, but Astro SMZ is also making his push for the top as he's picked up his third Elam since we've been watching. Mongrel gets another one, picking up Romu as we get closer to the top 15. Airwalks getting some reloads into that combat shotgun, wants to make sure he has every tool available as we push down to the final fight. Airwalks up on the ultimate high ground. ETQ rounding around the storm. Mongrel going to challenge on the mid-tarp, and he gets Carrera, and he also gets into the top 15 as we slide on board with Train H's Alpha, puts the trap down, and he gets Astro. Astro knocked out. Could be his World Cup run over there.
26 points thus far for Alpha, but not a big deal. He's still putting on a good show. Shots back behind, finds another player. Cell caught in a box just outside. Rotating forward, 9 players remaining. Scalamo goes down to fall damage to the feed. ETQ eliminated by that combat shotgun, so powerful in these close range fights. Alpha, 6 eliminations, looking for the 7th, pushing through, applying pressure through the wall, does not want the player inside to take the chance to get anything. Mongrel picks up another elimination, then immediately gets eliminated, goes out in 7th place, almost the top 5 for those points, only going to get 5 placement. Could still be big enough to make his way to New York City. We will have to see before too long. Top 5 now. Alpha, 30 builds, a mini opportunity. Anything to heal right now is going to be big. You don't want to be caught by players that may have positioning, and Oldies does, in fact, have that positioning. A 1v1. Players are basically 1-2 boxes away from each other, and Oldies may take the chance to rotate up out of the storm. We'll see here, stuck against the edge. Airwalks, the ultimate high ground, just waiting. 97 builds for Oldies, but only 1 for Airwalks.
52 to 58 in points. This could end up being the difference. Oldies looks to go for it, and he gets the zone back from Airwalks. He takes away the zone, but Airwalks knocks him down. No fall damage coming through. Can Airwalks find the shot?
No build.
Oldies just keeping the zone in the area, and Oldies gets the victory royale, pushes him up to 55. Airwalks falls at 58 with no builds.
Imagine being Oldies knowing you just eliminated Airwalks from Solary, Mongrel from Secret. You've got to be feeling really good about that game. A big push for points, too. That was, like you said in the middle of it, a very, very stacked lobby. A lot of pressure, too, because you have so many players now in these games that we're showing you. You have to remember at home, the ones that we're trying to pick the ones that are best for affecting the leaderboard, because these are the plays that you need to see. This is Europe, by the way, if you're just tuning in. If you've popped in a little late, we're trying to push our way through these games because there's so many things happening, but all these lobbies are going to be so intense because everyone is vying for those top 8 positions to qualify to go to New York City.
And that's what it's all about, getting a spot in the Fortnite World Cup final. This is week 9 of the online open qualifiers, the last chance in the solos competition. And if you want to sit on that stage, if you want to be playing with the best of the best, the Bizzles, the Vivids, the Tfue, the Dementos, all of those top players on the stage with FaxFox and Vanny, you have to clutch up right now in these final moments and against the best players, because if you're unfamiliar with how the tournament matchmaking works, it's 3 hours, 10 matches, and as you climb in points, you're matched with players close to you in that point range. So the matches only get more difficult, the players only get better, and these are the times, these are the fights you have to win if you want to be playing for your shot at the $30 million.
A quick note, too, if you're watching, this is the final game for Europe. Everything for these players to qualify for solos for New York City, to play for $30 million on a stage bigger than any stage Fortnite has ever seen. This is the last chance for Europe. There are a lot of fans out there of a lot of these players. Do me a favor. Go on Twitter. Tag your favorite players and show them some love. Keep the negativity out of this. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup, because Fortnite has done something that not many people ever thought would happen. They've put a focus on every player that has played out of their minds. And I want to be sure that all these people that have played, have qualified, have tried their heart out, they need to know that you're supporting the heck out of them. So again, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Please let your favorite players know that they've done an excellent job. Win or lose, doesn't matter how many eliminations. All these people have a lot of heart. It's important that they know that.
Indeed, a lot of heart coming out from all of these players. It's so incredibly hard to get.
I laugh as you say, but honestly, what a perfect name to see pop up. All that being said, no mercy this week.
Weigh-in picks up it. He says no mercy this week. Indeed, it's all about those last spots, trying to find the Shadow Bomb player as he rotates through, getting the shots going off here. And this is what it's all about. Storm Surge is on for 3 more players. Weigh-in pushing forward. Lacey Sher gets fast and then gets traded out by Rasmussen. We have our top 30. So Storm Surge is off. First placement threshold in 5 more players. Black Sue over there in the mid tarp, gonna hop on board with him, sitting on 46 points right now. Going to need a monstrous performance if he wants to top off. He's seen a number of players pushing up towards that 60 range. Don't forget, 8 spots coming out of Europe. Top 25, the first placement threshold, and Blacks is in a good spot to hit it with the 4 Shadow Bombs, using the first one now.
The stream's got to be feeling good about how their players are playing thus far. Black Sue and Skype both excellent thus far. Potentially see Vato at some point. We'll have to find out. 28 players, 26, 25. What a quick shift in player count. Points going out. 3 for everybody left on the board. Down to 22 already. This rotation has been lethal for so many. Such a big shift, down to 21 now. Chip goes down, 20. Every time I feel like I say it, we're about to see 19. There's another elimination. The Toxic Donut removed from the game. Bloxu pushing forward here, 2 eliminations. Don't want to get caught by someone boxing up as we've seen so many times in the past. Trying to maybe land somewhere inside a box with a launch pad, gonna move forward with the Storm. Excellent position now, has a chance to kind of wait and peek back behind. Someone is up above, he's gotta be careful there. That Edit gonna jump up and move on through to the next section of this circle. Still not stopped. We're very close. You look at the mini-map, the blue and white cross over the circles. Once that happens, you know players are going to start boxing up and peeking back for sure. Back-to-back shots, back-to-back eliminations.
No, he only got one of them. Daryl got the other one. That could end up
apologies.
being huge. Like we said, every single one of these interactions mattering, but Blackso trying to push the envelope and get every elim anyway. Will he be able to find it? He hits the shot, gets the siphon onto Purge. All of a sudden, Blackso has single-handedly fragged his way into the top 5. 57 points, but we've seen more. He needs to keep pushing. This is the last match on the server. This is the top 5. Frenzy, Nate, Screeky, Masato, and Blackso will be closing out the European region. Blackso right now extending the timer out on the Shadow Bomb. He's in your bottom right. He drops down. Nate gets taken out by Masato. Frenzy begins to work top down, takes 55 fall damage. Blackso pushes in, him and Masato in the same box. Masato disengages around the side. Blackso desperately trying to find the shot. Needs everything he can. Top 4, Screeky goes down as Masato finds it. Frenzy continues working from the top down, but Blackso needs the space. No builds left on Frenzy. 47 points for him, 57 for Blackso. This is his chance. Can he get Lestream to the World Cup final? He's looking for it. He finds the first shot. 88, can he convert? No, Frenzy picks up the elim, but he finds the 30 right after. Needs the elim and the victory royale. 461, but can it be enough? And can he close it out? He's looking for the shots. 49 shield, 85 health, no builds from the low ground player. Frenzy gets cleaned up. 61 for Lestream's Blackso, but will it be enough? Courage, will it be enough?
We will find out, folks. 5 weeks of solo competition have led to this moment in Europe. The queues are done, and now it is time to find out who exactly has made it on through to the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Who will take up those final spots from the European region?
I think it's time to take a look.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, first off, congratulations to Andretta, who throughout the entire day was in that top spot. Crew, Skite, Light, Mongrel has made it on in. Was what everyone was wondering if he was going to do it. People had high expectations. He clutches in the end. Mku, Teak, and who did we just see in that last game?
There you go, man. Blacksu, he makes it in for Lestream. That's huge for the French-speaking community because we saw Solary already go through, and Lestream kept getting edged out every week, but now it's Blacksu's time to shine. Really quick, though, Andretta. So you talked about this guy's been on fire all day long. We actually kind of pulled stats on his previous week qualifiers. For the previous solo weeks, 291th place, 127, 218, 610, and now first all day long. Went from like 50 viewers on Twitch to like 20,000. Send Andretta some love. All his hard work has truly paid off. These are the 8 that are coming through, Courage.
Congratulations to them. I think there's one more thing we can do. It's time to punch their ticket. Zeke.
I'll start over here.
Start over there.
Boop. There you go.
Andretta made it. Crew made it. Let's hit the middle one. Skite made it.
There you go.
Light. Mongrel. Congratulations again, brother. In the middle. Mku, and finally, Teak, and wait.
There you go.
Blacksu as well.
There you go.
The 8 players from Europe who will join Moffin and Rona season, as we saw earlier, making it on in. Incredible stuff. Europe was an insane day today, just as we expected. High-level lobbies, tons of people left all the way to that 5th zone. But here's the beauty of it, folks. We've got more action to bring you. We're going to go to a quick 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll catch you up to speed on some of the other regions before we kick off the NA East action.
Zeke, this is it. This is the last chance, all right? People need to know about this block party, all right? This is your last opportunity to get them involved, to get them hyped. Zeke, everyone's gonna be there, all right? DJ Zeke's gonna be there. DJ Sundown's gonna be there. Everyone's gonna be there, all right? The people are waiting. All right. You know what, man? I'm DJ Zeke. I don't need no card. But what you need to do is buy your tickets to the block party. Tickets are only $35, Fortnite fam. Listen, all right, June 15th, 16th at the LA Forum. Day 1, Creative Showdown. Listen, all right, Team Evolve built an incredible map. Spoiler alert, it's dope. Day 2, Celebrity Pro-Am. 50 pro gamers, 50 celebrities, all battling out for a $3 million charity prize pool. What more do you want? What more do you need? Fortnite fam, you need to be there because we are ready to party with you. Bam!
Heyo Fortnite fam, Sundown here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the Flintlock pistol and its impact on competitive play.
The Flintlock pistol is a great addition. Sometimes it'll just change the course of a fight.
The things you can do is insane. You can get height with it. It shoots pretty far. You can almost use it as an AR at the beginning game just to get one shot. It'll hit for like 80, 90 in the body.
And this is looking really good for Horrify, but the Flintlock is going to get the high ground. Nikiva, such a smart play.
The Flintlock is a common and uncommon weapon that uses heavy ammunition. It does 86 or 90 damage depending on rarity, and it has a 2 times headshot multiplier. This means that outside of a sniper rifle, it has the highest single shot damage potential in the game. However, the Flintlock only allows for 1 shot at a time, has pretty decent damage fall off, and also takes 3 seconds to reload. In addition to all of this, the Flintlock also has a mobility component to it. When fired, it will impulse the shooter backwards, and if the bullet strikes a target, it will impulse the target away from the shooter. This can allow for some tricky plays to be made.
Player there, runs out into the storm, jump, turn, finds him, yeah!
We've seen a decent amount of use out of the Flintlock during the Fortnite World Cup online open qualifiers. So let's hear from some of the qualified players to get their opinion on its addition to the game.
If I'm low on HP and I have to choose one weapon, it will be this one. You can actually like kill someone from 200 HP to 0 without taking any shots.
And it's also really good for competitive play because if you're high ground or if you want to get away from a situation, the Flintlock, when you use it, it knocks you some distance so you can get away or you can get high ground over someone. I think it just adds a lot of like different plays you can make with it. I think it's good.
I personally really like the Flintlock. I think it's a really good weapon. I think it's a really, really strong weapon in the right hands. You need to know how to use it and you need to base your whole game around it if you want to use it right.
It's just the kind of weapon we need more.
I definitely think it's one of the better things that have been added skill-wise. I like that it's so versatile. I really like it competitive. Definitely deserves a spot here.
Thanks for watching, and hopefully you saw how the Flintlock can be utilized in the right hands. What is the best Flintlock play you've done or seen? Share it with us using the hashtag Fortnite World Cup, and we'll be seeing you guys on the battle bus, or maybe Flintlocking through the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fortnite World Cup. This is the final week for solo qualifiers, so if you're trying to make your way to New York City to punch that ticket, now's the time to do it. If you miss out, that'll be that. Coming up next, we have Asia and Oceania replays. Those regions have already played out, but before we get to that, I asked a question when I was with Sundown casting the end of Europe, and that was where your favorite drop spot was. And we are lucky enough, because of the magic of Twitter and the production team who is always top-notch, a little social. I want to see what everybody said about everything. I just want to put this out there immediately. My boy Till Truth agreeing that Viking Village up top, one of the best in the game. Disco, Frosty Dusty, Jung Junction when running solos. Unless it's a hot spot, dropping factories by Flush. Racetrack, Lazy Lagoon or the Block. The Block, honestly, we're seeing that more and more. A lot of players are picking that up. Mega Mall, surprising to me, one of the biggest landing zones on the map right now. We've seen it time and time again being constantly swamped with players. Paradise Palms, Salty Springs again. Pressure Plant, and I believe that is the very southeast corner of the map. Some players call it Westworld. There's all sorts of names for these locations where if they don't have a POI name on them. It's kind of interesting to see how creative people can get. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm always curious where people are dropping as hard as I can to avoid any of those spots. Thanks for telling me where to not go. But I do want to see where Asia and Oceania go, and in order to do that, in order to look at those replays and get a play-by-play of everything happening, I need some players to give me some insight. And those players, in this case, will be Monster D-Face and Zeke.
Thank you, Dr. Lupo. Back
Monster,
at it again, Zeke.
Are you ready?
Ready to rock it.
I believe you are ready. That's why you gave me the fist bump and not Courage JD. Fortnite fam, we hope you guys are ready because it is finals day. We're hopping into some replays from Oceania that happened this morning. We want to get these guys up to speed, have them, share their moment because them qualifying was a big deal. Yeah, absolutely. So let's get ready to hop into these games together. Is there anything you're excited about? You looking forward to, Monster?
I mean, I'm looking forward to just watching all these games unfold. I follow like every competitive player on social media, so to wake up to my peers, kind of happy that they pushed through, or unfortunately, sometimes, you get the other tail end of that, see their errors where things kind of didn't fall in line for them. Because at the end of the day, no performance is perfect. And when you kind of go back and really look at it, a lot of times you spot your own errors. So it's kind of crazy how much Fortnite has developed and evolved and how much more room for perfection there is in this game.
For sure, man. I mean, we can always be getting better, not only in Fortnite, but as humans. And of course, at our ability to eat chicken parmesan, because I will never be able to eat it as incredibly as Courage JD can. 44 players currently.
Graciously.
Yeah, he's voracious with the food. 44 players here in Storm Circle 5. We see this all the time, right, Monster? That was a great pickup of Magsy there in midair. But we see this all the time. Finals day is very different than Saturday's qualification rounds, right? Saturday's semifinals are typically very elimination heavy. Finals, they know what's at stake. They know they have to play conservative, play for points, play for placements, and that's what we're seeing now.
Yeah, it definitely goes without saying that these last days when everything's on a line, there's just so much more pressure on you to perform that you are going to be more hesitant. But not only that, you have to respect people that are able to make it through to the top 0.01% Sunday for qualification, because at the end of the day, look at how many players don't make it to Sunday. Like literally, it's not easy to crack out 30, 50 points, 60 points if you're on EU at times, just to make it through. Like the competition is that stiff. So there's a lot right down the line. If you make it through to Sunday, you got to give yourself a pat in the back, regardless of how you do it, because it's no easy feat. And if someone makes it look easy, just understand that guy is miles ahead of the competition.
Yeah, for sure. And I think even if you don't qualify, right, there's always going to be events going forward in the future. There's always another opportunity. Just because you didn't make it, it does not mean that it's the end of your Fortnite journey or your Fortnite career, right?
I mean, just like everything in life, it takes a lot of preparation, consistency, but more importantly, one of the factors people don't take for granted is it's the luck back there. You also still need things to click, even in life, and things are clicking right here. Scopes Rebel goes down, nice little shot from Rona Season. What we saw did pull through.
Yeah, that's right. Rona, aka Sazman, taking that #1 spot over in OCE. He's already on 4 eliminations, so this is probably his maybe second game, right? Because he has 10 points here, and we're not even top 5, has the 4 eliminations, and he's hard. So his game before must have just been his initial game for 6 points total. And now we're hopping in. How are things going to unfold for him? He just hit top 25, so first round of placement points coming out. Don't forget, guys, 15-5, Victory Royale. Those are every single threshold, and every elim is a point. So already at 7, I don't know how to do math, just from elims and placement.
Yeah, and if you're new to competitive Fortnite, this is what it looks like at the highest levels of competition when there is money and prize on the line. Not only that, the respect of your peers. People are insane at this game. You might not see Glider redeploy every day in your day-to-day games, but here in the upper levels of competition, they use these kind of items to maximum efficiency, to save materials. So top-tier competitive Fortnite is a very interesting thing to watch and kind of digest. And just kind of from sticking around and studying these guys' play, you can level up your own game.
Especially like the minor differences between different people's play, right? Like you as a player, you might say, I love Glider redeploy, and that is my go-to item.
Yep.
For me, I might say, look, I value the Shadow Bombs more because it just lends itself to my playstyle and the things I'm looking to do. You know, especially as Fortnite continues to evolve, new patches come out, new weapons, items, utility, all that. Like, it's just an ever-changing game. To see these guys adapt and just everything in their hands is lethal. It's like gray AR, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna find 10 elims. Gray tech, doesn't matter. 10 elims.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
They make it look so good. Now take a look at Rona, who somehow manages to find some high ground off that Shadow Bomb, doing a really good job at climbing up here. Makes the edit one step ahead of Unknown. Space there, kind of steps out before his counterplay can even happen. Now he is set up. He has a setup shop right here. Who's at the ultimate top? It's Alfie. Alfie firing down, and someone else is just above him. You can see there, it's Brave. I will not lose. He's got the ultimate high here. Alfie says, you know what? I want no part of that. He is coming down into Rona. Let's see what Rona's going to do with these final moments here. He steps into another player's box. 120. Such a tight crosshair to hit these shots. You got to respect the aim here and the consistency, Zeke.
This is, this is what separates Sosman from the rest, right? There's so much confidence behind his play, and this is what I love talking about because that's what resonates with me, is how confident you are in the moment of things happening, right? Just look at this, not building. He has 13 builds, so it's not much, but he doesn't need to build. He knows what's going on. He's dictating the tempo of this game, right? Right now, Sosman is on that lowest level. Bray is up above. And now, Sosman's got 10 elims, all right? This is huge. He's going to try and go against Bray. Now, Bray does have more materials, 35-2, but now that they're saying, you know, let's go toe-to-toe, can Sosman line up the shot? He actually drops down below Monster. This engagement didn't even pan out. Oh.
Is he going to be able to get him? Is he going to be able to break these builds and bring him down to him? You saw Rona Season was just trying to stick it all the way through. And Rona Season is Sosman, guys. For those of you guys just tuned in, so these final moments are everything. He's looking to get these low ground peaks. He's got the Storm in his favor. He's still tracking with it. And he hits every shot, every single peak, every moment, every pixel goes to Rona.
And that's what I kind of talked about, dictating the tempo, right? It was Rona who was telling everyone else in the lobby, this is what we're doing now. Because you saw the player above. They had health advantage. They had shields. Sosman didn't. He was down to, 50 HP and then pops the slurp. And then that other player was so afraid to fire back because he was like, look, this guy's going to crack me in the face every single time. You can just tell by the way he's moving. He's confident. He sees that win.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, it's so funny that even with the high ground, sometimes you can just tell a good, low ground warrior will poise up in such a way that you're like, dude, if I, look over, he's going to shoot me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just know. So in those final moments, you kind of just knew, man, he was going to get shot. And, hate to see it not be able to clutch up. But on to the next, guys, is ORNZY. Ornzy.
I think that's making me, sending me back into my previous Fortnite games where it's
right?
I want to fight a guy and I'm like, this guy's crazy. Why would he do this?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get this guy, and then he just completely demolishes me. I'm like, he is crazy good at Fortnite. That's what was going on. Now look at this, Ornzy here. Great pickup. My goodness, 3 elims just like that. Now keep in mind, he's outside of top 25. So he's got to be a little bit careful here of how he navigates. Again, on the right side of your screen there, you see Sosman, again, the person who qualified from OCE. His name currently is Rona Season, aka Sosman, just to make sure you know. But look at this loadout, dude.
It's looking good. One of the underrated things about the minigun is the extreme high fire rate. It might actually have the highest fire rate in the game when it's fully cooked. And because of that, it can really punch through builds, even if you're trying to stay on defense. So if you guys haven't given up minigun, a swirl, I should say. Try and pressure someone down when they're in the box with it, and let me know if you pierce through the turbo build, if you get some shots. But don't forget, guys, we're tuning in straight with the OCE games here, which already kind of developed over the evening here at the Fortnite World Cup. Players have already punched their tickets to New York City. This is the last solo opportunity. Next week will be duos, but today it's all about the solo action. You can find yourself in the Big Apple.
Big Apple for a slice of pizza, like Golden Boy likes to say. I don't know why I like to keep perpetuating that, but here we are.
For a slice of 30M.
Yeah, there you go. You know, something really cool about Rona's loadout, look at this. He's actually maxed. We were able to see his max count there for a little bit. He's completely maxed on everything. He actually has extra metal laying close by. Max rockets with the 12. Completely great AR. Look at this, 650 rounds of small ammunition, 130 slugs, 8 deploys, a single shadow bomb. Sure, you know, he probably wishes he had 6. But this is a loadout you want to make plays with. He's going to send shots over to the player, trying to get in. Lucas is going to get caught out, making a rotation, and that Elim puts him in the top 25.
He is there, knocking on the door here, and this is how his journey unfolded to make it through to the Fortnite World Cup. Every opportunity that he has to take someone out, you can see he's singling out players and taking advantage of the positioning, but hopping around the map. These are some other players' journey as well, as we have Ariel here looking for the heavy snipe, finds a weak opportunity in the build. Whoever that is up above him is going to manage to connect the structure, but you know what? Ariel pops a nice little cone up. He's trying to go for it. He's really trying to get a piece of this high ground here. And now he disengages the pursuit, but is still tunneling on by.
That's good though. You know, if you don't have all the information, it's best to not try and go for the play, especially in finals. If this is, you know, semifinals, go for it, right? Like at worst, you're just set back a game, you could re-queue and everything's okay, but in finals, every single interaction does matter. So for Ariel, you know, he could have potentially challenged for that high ground, but it's like, I just kind of use my heavy snipe. I don't have that key to all doors. Let me just get myself to safety, take a moment, reload, gather more information. And because of just that slight pause, look, he's now in top 15. He found an Elim, which he was hunting for before. He just finds it in another place. And now he's still just continuing. He picks up a Rift to go as well. Heavy snipe gonna be picked up too. So now, I mean, Ariel's in a great spot right now.
Yeah, for sure. That nice little mat replenish there from catching the Elim is going to throw him back in the running here to try and see if he can squeak out a victory. Up at the high ground, we have other things unfolding. Kalen goes down to Samurai. Sosman still alive in the mid-tart, putting down pressure. Squall's in a campfire here. That's a signal to the rest of the lobby that, hey, there's someone weak nearby. Sosman hears the shadow bombs kind of thrown all around him. What's he going to do here? He's just on the hunt. OCE region specifically requires you to get a ton of eliminations if you want to be number one. There's only one spot up for grabs. And there it is, another player nearby. That's all shield ripped off. He's going to push that. Sees a player above him. He does see a player above him.
He's going to try and maybe make something happen. But look, don't forget, he still has every single rocket.
Nice rocket right there.
12 rockets. This payload is about to just destroy builds all the way around. And look, Ariel as well up on the high ground has them. So the first rocket from Ariel comes in, and then Sosman's second finds an elimination. Another rocket from Ariel up on the high ground. And look at this. Down below, they're just desperately trying to keep their builds up, and they're burning through mats. Sosman is now out, and look, he gets challenged from the front, challenged from the right, finds the 2 players, and he makes this a 1v1, but look at his HP right now. First rocket's gonna come in. How is he gonna pull this off, Monster?
I don't know if he can. He doesn't really have much going for him. Just 24 health.
He picked up 500 metal from 0 to 500. 50 builds. This is huge. If those get fully built off, they're going to absorb an entire rocket and still stay built. But
no way, dude.
This is a tough spot. Oh. That's a tall ask. That's a tall ask.
It really was. 200 HP on Ariel with the RPG as well. He was fully loaded, med kit, minis. He had everything he needed. That was a tough end game for Sosman. But hey, second place is not too shabby in this format. You get you know, a ton of placements, but more importantly, those 2 eliminations to squeak out, we've seen the difference of 1 point was literally what all these games came down to. So that little flick of the moment, that little, you know, reaction to jump down there and go for it, That's the risk you take, and that's the payout you get.
Mm-hmm. Now we hop on over. There you go. This is, so don't forget, this is now, we're in Asia replays. You can see at the top right. So these happen again overnight while we were all asleep. I was asleep like a baby. That's not true. I woke up several times. I was mad about it. Moffin XD, though, was the victor coming out of that Asia region.
Yep, and you see there, Moffin finds someone hiding in the cone. Does capitalize on a nice little elimination. Sees the loot back there, but might be a little too far to go scavenge for, so he's just on the hunt still here. As things are poised up outside of the Dusty Divot. Really tough place to battle out of. You never want to find yourself in the center of it. Nice shot right there. As he catches someone who's running right by. These competitive players are so good with the accuracy. Oh, he's trying to play the loot hoarder here, trying to get all the mats and stuff that he did not battle for, and now he's got the Storm against his back, and there's no way that man was going to get out of there, because with the 60-second threshold now, the Storm can also just reward that Elim regardless to Moffin here. And whoa, he jumps into the zone for the desperate materials. Didn't even rift out. Ouch, it's going to cost him like 70 health there, Zeke.
That's a lot. Okay, so he did pick up 3 campfires. Sure, he can heal up, but that's such a tell, right? The moment you place a campfire, you're telling everyone around you, hey, I'm low HP. I have to use this if I hope to survive. Now, keep in mind, he was at the edge of the storm. He had quite the rotation to make. Because he dipped into the storm, everyone else is already making their way into safety. He's going to have a relatively safe rotation, but, like, again, he's in critical condition. If he finds an Elim, it's going to be huge. That Siphon's going to just put him right back into fighting condition, but he's got to find that Elim.
Dude, talk about, like, insane rotation. First of all, he didn't get shot once coming from the further side of the Dusty Divot, and there was multiple players set up on bases. That is what we call that little bit of luck factor that sometimes you just need to kind of pull through here, because it doesn't happen like that very often. Someone gets rifted up there. Moffin lands a nice little 78. He's still in the game right now. Still in the game here.
He's going to reload that heavy snipe. So just look for an opportunity. I doubt he's going to try and go for close range snipes. He's probably going to use that to just punch into people's bunkers. He has his own rift to go. If things get a little hairy, I think he probably wants to use it because of you. This is great. Just punch through, there you go, and use the other player's rift.
Community rift
again. Yeah, but look where we're going right now. We're going on the little lip there of Dusty Divot. That's such an incline that if you don't make it first, you can actually box other people out, and then they have to burn materials to get over the little hill there. So I like that play, just saying, you know what? This guy used the rift, and look at this. Prime real estate.
You just said it too, right? Like, you want to get on the lip there and see what you can do. Moffin comes in with some shots here. Looking for the replacement.
Wow.
Pulls off the cone, Zeke.
Wow.
Just like that.
And this is huge now, too, because not only does he get all the Elims, the campfire's still going, so people are going to be like, oh, that player must be weak. Would we like to engage him? And Moffin sitting on 200 is like, please. No, yeah, absolutely. Like, come on in.
That'll be a big mistake for someone there. Let's look at this map here. This is the Asian region, guys. We're tuned in with Asia. Hopping into some of what occurred overnight here. Char Mew looking to get his little moment here on the show. Nice shot right there. Oh, man, Char gets hit with the Shadow Bomb. Don't forget, guys, that animation, while you're in Shadow Bomb as well, you're vulnerable. You are very vulnerable. You have to be careful of your surroundings. You can take damage. You're not invincible in the Shadow Bomb form.
Man, Charmy is just burning through materials. That was a pretty rough rotation. It's probably going to cost him in the long run, because, I mean, he did go through quite a bit of mats, but you know, Monster, I like to pose this question. I've already posed it to Pookie. I've posed it to Kitty. You know, you guys are members of the community. You know, you've taught so many of us different things. You know, you've got a podcast. In case you know who Monster D-Face is, go send him a follow. He's incredible. But you've been in situations like this, right? You've played in Summer Skirmish. You played in, I think, Fall Skirmish as well, right?
Yep.
You know, we went to Korea together to watch the Korea Open. So you understand what these players are thinking. For maybe people that are kind of new to Fortnite, that maybe this might be their first time tuning in, you want to just break down some things for them?
Yeah,
like for instance, like rotations. Like what is Metsuo thinking right now as he's barreling toward trying to keep himself safe, right?
Yeah, well, like, obviously, initial threats, right? You want to handle everyone here. Nice little trap play. So just even every single decision can be broken down. The way they use traps, a lot of these players, you want to double trap left and right wall, so you cut off all plans for escape.
Right.
Something small like that. Here, editing his way down, right? He does not have an escape plan. That elim right there is going to give him the launch pad, of course, to get the escape route off the high ground, but just recognizing height differences, the way competitive players play zone, they typically like to hug the zone. They never give too much, they don't take too much real estate in the end moments. They take their time and kind of hug the zone instead, flirt with that storm line. So many little different things that come into competitive play, and you can really just nitpick and break it all apart. It's so crazy in the highest levels.
Yeah, I just love talking about that stuff. I'm not great at articulating my thoughts with that kind of stuff. I understand what's happening. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to tell you a thing.
It happens so quickly, especially in Fortnite. But that's one of my favorite parts about it is just like the action, the APM, the actions per minute in Fortnite is unparalleled to any other BR I've ever experienced. And that's what really draws me to this game specifically. So we are looking at Moffin, who pulled through, man, took it right underneath the feet of people like Aim Hero that Zeke and I had. We had the pleasure of casting it at South Korea. He crushed it.
Yeah.
We saw Sinnoh out
met
there.
him. We met him.
We met all, dude. It was like so it was surreal, dude.
Yeah,
right?
Dude. I remember that story that what happened so vividly. We met him because we were like, we're like in almost like a green room waiting to go. Yeah. And we saw players around us, and Aim Hero was like, he popped in the room, and we're like, oh, hey, like, hi.
Matter of fact, remember, there was like this divider, we were standing over it, and they were like, Zeke, I love you.
And I was like, wait, what? And they were like, yeah, you're Zeke, and you're Monster D-Face. We were like, wait, first of all, congratulations, Moffin XD. We know you're the victor, and that is exactly why 11 eliminations and the Victor Royale. 21-point game, massive lead for him. But yeah, I remember, and then they just called us out. They're like, yeah, you're Monster, and you're Zeke. And I was just like, what the heck?
That was definitely crazy to think outside the country.
Yeah, that was what was
we're out the country. This is Fortnite on a global scale here.
Man, how it's so crazy. That was like the beginning of the year, and now here we are, dude.
Yeah.
We
have not made a full year casting Fortnite yet. This thing is just like exploded.
Oh goodness, the snipe coming out! Oh, wow, what a massive shot coming out of Moffin there. And look, check this out. 31 players left. He's already on 6 eliminations. This guy is crazy, and this is who is going to the World Cup Finals. This is the level of play we will see in the finals.
Yep, Moffin's going to have to bring it. When you put a player who's only experienced one region, let's just say, against the likes of the rest of the world, who knows what region is really going to come out on top. Keep in mind, too, though, guys, EU and the American regions, the European and American region, will, of course, have a larger presence just off of the sheer numbers. So it is going to be interesting how the top 20 turns out, especially considering, some presence a little less than others. But, I mean, all these guys are equally skilled.
That's right.
In some capacity. They're all deserve to be there, all of them.
And you know what's funny too is we interviewed, in case you missed it earlier, go back and check out the VODs. We actually interviewed Sosman, the winner from OCE, and he was just basically explaining, like, we asked him how do you feel about going into the Fortnite World Cup Finals, and he was like, oh, OCE plays differently than NA does, and it's going to be interesting for me going to finals and competing against that because we just play so differently. So I almost, in my head, like, I just imagine everyone kind of playing their own game going into finals, but at the same time, like, you got to think this is a $30 million prize pool. This is huge. The biggest stage ever
for different places. I mean, but that goes against everyone else too, though.
Sure.
Because that means, oh man, just think about it.
I think finals gonna have its own meta.
They're gonna have a style, and of course the pressure's gonna be high, guys. I think the real question is who's gonna have the confidence to take a fight and win a fight. Who is straight up gonna have the confidence and just be like, you know what? I don't respect your builds. I'm pushing you. Who's gonna be that guy, right? Because that's really what it comes down to. If you are confident like that, that's why you see people like Bugga, Dubs, Clicks, right? Stompy. They was like, what duo are you? I don't care if you're Kinstar. I'm gonna take your wall right now.
Exactly.
And that level of play is why. And dude, we've seen Stompy do it every week. Even this time around, he got 11. He was just outside of top 10. So trust me, he's still here, guys. That's what they do. They just do crazy plays.
Yeah, that's actually something you taught me way back when. Is you cannot. Let's say it's just Zeke, me, and I'm in this game somehow. I don't know, some alternate universe, and I'm good at the game, and I'm fighting off against someone like Moffin here, who qualified as that #1 player going into finals. I cannot stop and sit here and go, that's Muffin. I know what he's capable of.
Yeah.
I can't make a mistake. I just have to go. It doesn't matter who that is. I just have to play my game. I have to play the very best that I can. And at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for, right? Like, the moment you stop and think, that's Tfue, I think that it's already too late. You've already made the error, right? Like, you can't stop and some people can't. So they're like, okay, I know that's Tfue. I know he's going to try and probably do this based on what I've seen and the information I have. But if you're just sitting there and thinking like, oh man, that's Tfue, I don't know if I can fight him, like, no, you can fight him. You've made it to finals for a reason. Take the fight if you think you can.
Yeah, it's also gonna get crazy too, because for Fortnite World Cup, if you guys don't know already, we're going through full games. The early game story, the contestant, the points of interest, who likes to land where the map's gonna be at that point, right? Things are gonna change, and the game is gonna be played in a way that we have not seen yet. And that's what excites me the most, is that we're gonna see 100 of the world's best under one hub, the Fortnite World Cup.
Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait. And to see all the Fortnite fans there as well, kind of cheering on the people they support, it's going to be
Are you ready
amazing.
to feel the crowd's energy?
I'm going to cry.
Rip through your body?
I'm going to cry, dude.
It's literally you're going to feel the vibration of the entire stadium.
Just erupt when incredible plays happen, you know.
Oh, man.
Man. Ooh, dude. Chills, dude. Chills.
Chills, dude.
Oh, yeah. We just fist bumped. You guys didn't see it. Fortnite fan, we had a little bit of a moment there. We hope you had that moment with us. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Are you ready? Are you hyped for the Fortnite World Cup Finals in New York City? Alter Ego here finds an elimination, cracks that player. Now, this is his first elim. He's probably hoping for more, right? At this point, he wants as many points as possible. So he's going to look to probably play a little bit more aggressive, right? But look at everyone else. Muffin, the #1 player who came through for Asia, is in this lobby, and he's dominating the high ground. 12 eliminations, by the way.
He has just been shutting it down while we've been chatting up the storm here. Muffin going for the high ground. He's holding it. Nice little side jump right there. No errors coming out of him. And look at how he uses the boom bow to crack open all the builds. Nice little 82 right there. Here comes the pressure. Can he get the follow-up? He's looking for it. Nice little side jump, and that's another one. This player is in pickaxe territory. Bye-bye jackpot. And Moth could not even get the loot off that. Couldn't get the spoils. Another boom bow crack open right there. And when a fresh build comes out, if you do not hesitate, you send a boom bow right away, you break it all open. So that's how he's able to just like catch these players off guard, because those roof panels are just, that's it, exploding right up.
Yeah.
Down to the low ground, CXV gets one elim there, and it's Macy and Mev who's going toe-to-toe. Mob still just has the dominant position.
Yeah, I mean, so he's going to drop down. He's got the single build, so he had to take a little bit of fall damage to rejoin everyone from the stratosphere. Macy's down below, and look at this. Immediately, boom, he says, I know you heard me take this fall damage. You don't know how much it was. They go for the challenge, and Muffin was prepared. He knew. Again, it's just about dictating the game, right? He's like, I want you to challenge me. You know that I'm hurt, how hurt I am. You do not know. And just like that, dictating the game yet again cleans up that victory out. 15 eliminations.
Points is that? It's that 25-point game.
That's
literally doubling his score out of nowhere. If you were in the top 10 and you had that come up, that's it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, guys, you know, we've had an awesome time, but for now, we're going to hit pause. Let's send it back into studio with Dr. Lupo, because I believe the doctor is in.
What a terrible, repetitive joke, Zeke, but I appreciate the effort. I'm just kidding. Thanks, Zeke. Appreciate that. Crazy games from Asia, and Oceania. You love to see kind of the meta changes and how different regions present themselves and the way that they adjust their gameplay relative to everybody else. But Europe today, and as we've seen multiple times in the past, Europe has done an excellent job of putting on a show like I think few people could even possibly imagine. And to talk about that and an interesting turn of events for who ended up at the top, joining me right now is Sundown. What do you think so far about Europe?
Thank you so much, Lupo. Indeed, it was crazy. So just a couple of quick facts I want to write down. 15 points separated 100th place and 8th place. That means a 5-point victory route was the difference of going to New York City and being in the 100th spot. That is absurd for how close it was. Blackso, in that final game we watched, pushed him up to 61 points. He was tied at 61. But because he had the victory royale and got the average elim at the end, it pushed him into the last spot. We talk about how every single interaction ends up mattering. And then, unfortunately, on the outside looking in, Airwalks, the last play we saw, if he had had one more build, he could have made it up the elevation and kept the storm. Instead, lost it, lost the victory royale, and lost his spot in New York City. Mitro also on the outside looking in, 2 top 15 finishes, but not being enough. That lets you know how crazy it is. However, the player who took the top spot was Cypher's Andretta with a crazy run, and we're going to be joined by him right now. Andretta, man, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good.
I mean, I would hope so. So we saw you yesterday put on an incredible show. In week after week, your placings have gone up. What was the difference between this weekend and all of the other weekends? Were you just feeling it? Did you eat your Wheaties for breakfast? What's going on?
The thing is, the other weeks I wasn't that confident, but this week I decided to try and talk with someone while playing. So that kind of helped. Getting to talk to people, getting them to calm you down and stuff. And I got good RNG. Very good.
Nice, yeah, being able to get all of that and put it together. So you got off to an incredible run, winning 2 of your first 4 games. How were you able to get those victories? Did you just dominate them out? You had a solid amount of elims. What were those wins like?
I was using the bowler to get the endgame. And then I usually found out, when I needed to drop out and stuff to go for the eliminations. And I usually had my bowler until endgame. So the thing is, you should try and keep your bowler until endgame, because it's really strong. You can go out of your bowler, get a lot of kills, and win game. Also, you can use the bowler to get height most of the times.
Yeah,
so I did that sometimes. And
we saw you execute on that a number of times, which is kind of something we were talking about, pushing the gameplay and actually turning the baller into something that was aggressive. Now, kind of about midway through, you looked at the leaderboard, saw you were in such a lead and knew you'd be able to close it out. But my question is, when it was all said and done, and you saw you were there, you're in the #1 spot, what did you do? Did you run around your house? Did you go tell your parents? Were you celebrating on Discord? What was that moment like?
I was celebrating so much. I actually got hosted by Symphony. My stream was going crazy. I was actually, while I was playing, my 5th game, I started crying because I almost knew I was qualified. So that was probably one of the best moments in my life ever. I don't know what to say.
It's got to be exhilarating, honestly, to know that, especially in Europe, which we've talked about as one of the most difficult regions to qualify in. Even with 8 positions, there's so much pressure there. But I got to ask a kind of a random question. I keep seeing the lighting change on your face. What are you watching right now?
I'm actually watching the Fortnite stream.
All right, you see yourself. There's layers here. There's layers. It's very Inception level. Well, thank you so much, Andretta, for joining us. Before we let you go, though, if you could do me a favor, please, 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 please shout out your own channels, shout out your duo's channels, anybody you want to.
Okay. So my Twitch is Andretta. My Twitter is Cypher Andretta. My YouTube is Andretta. And I want to shout out Shoko Laden, and all the people in that Discord. And I want to shout out my stream. Thank you so much for the support.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Again, incredible performance both yesterday and today. Congratulations. $10,000, a spot in New York City. And as Golden Boy would say, we'll have to get a slice of pizza. We'll be seeing you later, man.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely incredible. It's crazy to think just the age ranges too. You know, the kids that are so young, all the way up to, I believe the oldest qualified right now is 24
right now. Yep.
Consider how much they're playing for too. I don't blame him honestly for getting emotional in the middle of even halfway through his games. It's insane.
It's just nuts to me where he's like, oh, I didn't have the level of confidence. And then right after, it's like, yeah, about halfway through my games, I started crying because I knew I'd done it. And it's like, that's the level of confidence you need to be bringing on the final day. Just huge shout out to Andretta. Go follow him on Twitter, follow him on Twitch, give him all the plugs because I promise you'll be seeing more of this prodigy. Topping Europe is an incredible accomplishment. But we have more games and more regions to be getting into. We saw Oceania and Asia just now. We're going to hop on in to Brazil for a brief little bit. So back on over the cast as we go.
Thank you guys so much. Man, you know, I feel like we've just nerded out about Fortnite, but now seeing Andretta be there and just like talk about things, it makes me want to nerd out more.
Dude, it gives me the feels, man. These young champions coming up and coming out, and it's crazy. Like he said, he just knew he made it, because if you look at the track history of all the players who've qualified so far, I say it every week, it only takes about 5 or 6 games. That's all it takes. If you get 5 or 6 aces, just solid games, big points, big placement, you're knocking on the door.
Right.
All you got to do is not choke the rest. Just ease it out. Just ease it out. Get a couple here, get a couple there, secure the deal, and Andretta knew 5 games in, oh my gosh, I think I got the 5 that I really needed to make it to New York City. And that was it. That was like literally it. Long behold, though, he gets first in the whole thing. European, the toughest region, in my opinion.
Yeah.
One of the toughest regions. Of course, you can't take away from West, who sometimes only gets 1 spot. You know, OCE, Asia, and Brazil, of course, they only get 1 spot. It's crazy. That's arguably harder, but when you talk about mass player pool, Europe is hard, dude. To get #1 is insane.
Well, especially for Andretta, I had a card not that long ago kind of saying a few of his placement spots. Last week, we watched him end in 610th place. And now, the last solo week, now to see him in the final week come out as that #1 player. You know, that's...
It just clicked.
You know, I would associate like, you know, there's 8 spots. And if you hit one of 8, great, awesome. I've qualified, great. But to be able to say, of that 8, I was #1. Look, you know, Tifus of the world, you guys need to respect my game. I came in #1 in Europe. That's why I'm here in the finals. Like, let's go. It's going to be insane. Oh, man, I love Fortnite so much. 23 people left in the current lobby, though. Monster hopping in Storm Circle 6. Now, guys, don't forget, we are hopping into Brazil games. These are live. For a moment there, we had the timer. We're about 1:30 or so left on queue times. Don't forget, it's 10 games.
An hour.
About an hour 40. Okay, I was close. Darn. I was just off by 10. We have either that 3-hour window or 10 matches to play, whichever comes first. And then, obviously, we're going to, you know, make sure that, because don't forget, you can queue up even with those last few seconds and then play out an entire match. So we want to just make sure everyone has enough time to wrap up their games, get those standings out. But here we go. Peru, hopping in with him. 100 ping. All right.
Things are unfolding right now as we speak. So this is a live situation here. Brazil, known for another region that you have to pick up heavy elimination, secure placement points. This is not just a win every game and you make it through scenario. You need the elims as well. Nice shot right there from Peru. 100 ping. Connecting with the combat. Oh, bumps his noggin right there, and it's going to cost him a second launch pad.
Yeah, you definitely want to look up. You never want to make that happen because you waste a secondary launch pad, but it's okay. New rotation coming out. He's got to reassess. He's going to be able to get himself to safety. Now, he's already hit top 15, so everything's okay. We're still in the running here. But, you know, there's a lot of big names in the Brazil region. All the W7M boys. You see the red teams, right? You know, Snow, just to name one. You know, the X-Own King. So many talented players.
Seen Techno Viking kind of pull through.
Also from Red, you know, man, there's so many players here this spot could go to. Tries to challenge for the launch pad, doesn't get it, and says, Kin, I'm going to go ahead and shut you down. You took that launch pad, I need it, and that's what helps him make the rotation.
Ooh, but he does get hit by a combat. It's Ice who's in the high ground, so Peru's now found himself in a dire situation. He's got to start healing. Tony's underneath the build, putting some pressure up, but Tony gets melted by Code, Pulsari, and so does Gabriel. Just gets owned by Vanessa on the edge there. Clip Node now putting pressure down. We're going to hop into his perspective here as he's looking for this combat. That's 1, that's 2. Doesn't find a 3rd, but it's okay as he raises himself up into the layer. He's trying to get a brief moment of peace in this crazy storm that he's in right here. He can't even heal. A nice little shot. Fran, he catches him in the toe. It's going to keep him in the game here.
This is huge, man. He's already on 8 eliminations. When we talk about elimination counters, especially on finals, 8 is massive. You know this player has been on a spree, and look at this. Clipnote looking to play it out as technically as possible, looking for these angles, waiting for people to turn their backs and send shots over. I think he's trying to go for the wall replace.
Yeah, he hit this guy for white, so he knows he can take this right here. He's got to be careful, though. Can't let his guard down. Turns around. It's Peru, who was in a weird spot before. He was very low on health. Turns that one around. Someone else goes down to the storm right there, so Clipnote couldn't even get that. It's Vamos, who was still in the game. And Exakal holding up the high ground right now. What's he going to do? He's just walking on these builds. He doesn't have anything left. Neither does Clipnote.
In the shadow form, he just obliterates the player. That was absolutely insane. But Clipnote is the victor of that game. Like, see what it did there? You maybe saw it, maybe didn't. It's okay. Next game, though, massive props. Oh, you see
the clip and the this and the that.
I just rhymed. No big deal. I'm not a rapper. 44 players in the next game. Moving on in. Man, he popped that ghost right out of the sky. Maybe you could call him a ghost buster.
Oh.
Shout outs to Jeff.
Right,
I made your joke. We're going to high five after this from production.
Take his joke?
Yeah, he wanted me to make the joke on broadcast, so I did it. Again, guys, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Give production some love. There's so many people that work so hard to make this all possible.